live. Full screen.
Well, I say every day it's a getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 69th episode of Screaming Into the Void. My name is Samuel the Infamous. I'm late as fuck, and with me is green-haired anti-liberal.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm cold, so forgive me. I'm wearing my pimp robe and Pikachu beanie. Otherwise, good. How are you?
Good. Not too bad. Not too bad. So you missed last week, and that I don't know. We got into the situation that's going on because it was a very brand new thing. Yeah. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So, but we got into it right away because it had just happened, and then in a week since, I have been exposed to more horrific shit than I have seen in a long time, and now I'm finding out that a good deal of it was not real, or at least people are saying it's not real, and I'm realizing once again for like the 100th time that I can't take the word of pretty much anybody in media anywhere.
Yep. And I've avoided all of it because of that.
Yeah. So it's been a whole thing. So we might touch a little bit on some of that stuff today just because it is ongoing and all that, but we probably we got other stuff to talk about today. We're gonna have a little bit more fun with it, and hopefully Ryan, when he gets here, will say more than beaded glass for the entire episode. That's all he said for like 2.5 hours every time he spoke up, which was very rare.
Of course.
So but first let's say hello to the chat. I see Lawrence Knight in chat. Kohai Masochist. Yeah. See, they're always fighting over who's first and changing the rules on each other. Shadow of Hawk, yes, today late and gay. Absolutely.
It wasn't my fault.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Tiff's fault. It was absolutely me. I got caught up doing some stuff IRL and lost track of time. And here we are. So yeah. Hey, Caucasian Sasquatch, good to see you. So yeah, it's been a week. So
yeah.
It has, however, only been about 12 hours since I've seen you.
Has it been that long? Feels like it was 2 hours ago.
Yeah. So
it was fun, though.
Yes, it was. For those of you who missed it, both Tiff and I were on Devil Made Me Do Its channel Beelzebub last night at about 1 a.m. our time.
Yep.
For almost 3 hours. It was a good time, though. It was a lot of fun.
Both having streamed immediately before that and also worked a 8-9 hour shift before that for both of us.
Yeah.
So it was a fun day yesterday.
Friday was a busy day.
Yeah. Yeah. It was interesting.
So we're here now, which is good. I guess first thing, there was something a couple of things I wanted to bring up last week that we skipped because basically spent most of the time talking about things going on.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find that stupid video. I had this great little video of this dude chasing a bear out of a barbecue. Oh, okay. There it is. Yeah, like I don't know why this was a thing, but it's It's pretty interesting.
Don't want to ruin a good barbecue, so
Well,
all
the
right.
bear was just like, where's my burger?
Right. It smells good.
So
Where's my plate?
the guy in the gray there is the guy trying to get him out. So there's a little chain link fence with a gate and all that stuff, and there's another dude in a purple or bluish shirt that stands ready. But yeah,
I got a video. Thank you.
Oh, hey!
Hey, no, Mike. Mike, get on. Mike.
Is it a pet bear?
Just move. Just
Treating it like a domesticated dog. What is?
I guess I'll go.
Holy shit, that son of a bitch. He got it.
Yeah, it's a bear. What? But they were treating it like it was a dog. Like, is it their bear?
No, it just like showed up at their barbecue,
The hell?
and so he's like, "No, dude, you gotta go."
What did I just watch? Good Lord.
He's like, "Oh, I want a burger too." The
Right.
dude's like, no, dude, you can't be here. You're a bear." And the bear's like, but burgers. He's like, "Fine, I'll eat you instead." No, okay, I guess I'll go.
That was
So,
interesting to watch. Holy crap.
yep,
The black bear.
Hey, Cliff Anderson. Good to see it. Bernie.
Well,
So
not
yeah,
sure.
it's
Yes.
like Caucasian Sasquatch is saying, rednecks and Russians. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I get it. It's the country. Cliff said if they freaked out, the bear would have freaked out and it would have been a day to remember. Yeah.
Right. Can't bear to watch. Shame on you.
Bad. Terrible. I judge
I like
you.
puns.
You would.
I'm not going to judge them too much. I like puns. Puns are good.
It's okay.
So, but yeah, like, what would you do if a bear just wandered into your gathering?
I mean, I'd gauge my reaction off of the bear's reaction, honestly.
Yeah.
How I would with any type of nature thing.
Yeah, because in the video, the bear's
Yeah.
clearly not acting aggressive until he's like told to leave, and then
Right.
like
He's like, I wanted my snack.
any drunk at closing time who doesn't want to go home,
Yeah.
he's like, "Fuck you." You know? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. I mean, out where I'm at, everybody's armed to the teeth, so
Yeah.
the bear probably would not have made it off the property, honestly.
Well, and it would also depend on like the area that they're in. Maybe the bears see people more frequently, so they're more used to people and vice versa. Like
Mhm.
those people might have had reactions with animals like that in the area. And so, I mean, gauging your reaction off of the animals is really the only way that you can handle something like that. Unless it was high off of cocaine, then you might not want to handle it at all.
That's the interesting thing about that. First of all, did you see Cocaine Bear?
Yes. Even after like watching a review of it, I still went and saw it because I was like, it looks funny.
You sound like you regret it.
Oh yeah, it was a terrible, god-awful movie. Oh, it was so bad.
I disagree. I think it was awesome. I think it's exactly what it knows exactly what it is, and it doesn't make any bones about it. It's like Snakes on a Plane. You know exactly what you're getting with that movie just from the title alone.
It was still terrible, and it's not
But it
like
was awesome.
The Meg terrible. There's really nothing to sing its praises. Like it wasn't funny. Oh, do you guys argue this often? Do you?
Yeah, I might be the only person on the planet who just flat out loves that movie.
Oh my god, the guy! How did he get off How did he get on top of the freaking gazebo? It bothers the shit out of me. How did he get up there?
That's a good question. They don't really show him climbing up.
There was nothing like for him to climb up. Like there was an attempt. I think he got on a bench under it, like when he was like inside of it, and he was too short to do anything to like get to the roof. And then there was no ladders around, no nothing. And he's just like, they cut away, do a scene, and then they cut back to him and he's on the roof.
Yeah.
Bad.
See, Shadow here, all he wanted to see was like 90 minutes of the
Yes.
bear just straight mauling people. Obviously, they were going to have more than that. You know, there had to be some human interest, which is unfortunate. I know, and I say this about kaiju films all the time. Like, it's not that important. That's not why you're there.
I was
get
fine
that,
with the
kid.
humans being there, but they needed better motivations. It was,
Right, and you know,
and
I don't know.
reactions.
I thought
the
it was fun.
kids, No, no,
Yeah.
no. So bad.
They did get into a bit of the trouble when the kids started eating cocaine.
Yeah, what the hell was that? Oh my god! Like I just. And
The
then,
joke is that kids who were trying to impress each other obviously
Yes.
don't know the first fucking thing about what they're talking about, and that happens not so much with cocaine, but in general, you know, like kids are always trying to show each other up with how much they know.
Yes, absolutely. I was a kid once too, but holy crap! And like how she like cuts into the bag and shit. Like she puts it on the freaking knife. I can't even remember everything. God, it was so bad.
Yeah,
And just
but
like eat a giant freaking amount. I remember there being so much. I was like, "You're dead, child."
right.
This-
But yeah, that was my first thought too. It was just like, oh, that kid's gonna die.
yes,
Like
yes.
soon,
my
and
God.
it ain't gonna be the bear.
I can't.
You don't
God.
eat a tablespoon of fucking cocaine and be okay. That doesn't happen like that. But
Yep.
yeah,
And like my best friend and I, we never, okay, I don't want to say never. We rarely agree on movies because she's kind of a normie. Like she loves the sequel trilogies. The Dial of Dialysis. Like she loved them. She loves member berries. I love her. I want to punch her in the face sometimes. So I just accept it and I give her updates on the realm of things that I know.
Mhm.
But she likes to go and make her own decisions, which is fine. I do that as well. But sometimes I'll watch something beforehand to make sure that it's not something that I'm going to be wasting my money on and giving people money that I don't want to give money to. So her and I went to see it because we both thought it looked funny from the trailer. And I made sure to, I think it was like Ryan's review, Ryan Kinnell, that I watched. And I was like, I'm still going to go because it still looks funny. And I'll judge it myself. And her and I, we do not like to talk during movies or anything. We critiqued the hell out of that movie, just like The Quiet Place 2. Like the entire time.
You didn't like The Quiet Place too?
No. Oh my God. Do not tell me that you did.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't think it was on the same level as the first one, but I did enjoy it.
The coincidence, like the okay, so they're freaking blind, right? These creatures. And when they're at the docks and they like go to the island, there's no way that creature would just end up floating on its own because like it has no reference whatsoever to get to the island, but of course it does. And then the girl, when she's walking on a road, how back roads tend to happen, like the rocks and stuff where the tires have made the tracks, that would make noise, right? And this is all about being quiet, so you're not going to be heard by the creatures. She chooses to walk on the gravel in bare feet rather than walking on the grass, which would be more silent and not cut her feet up like the rocks would. Little things like that bothered the hell out of me because in the first movie, they paid attention to little things like that. The second movie, they did not, and it was terrible. I can't. I hated it.
Well, fair enough. There were some things in it that bothered me. As far as the creature getting to the island, like floating to the island on the boat, like that was a little, that was a little out there. I could see it following the sound.
Yeah, maybe. But like, how did it get there? Its arms are way too skinny in the amount of time that it got there, and I just. I
mean, if it left it near the time that they did, right, it could have pushed itself off and just sort of, let the momentum carry it.
But no, it didn't have oars. It didn't have a way of using oars, so it would not have been able to get there in the time that it did. And they were complacent, and they shouldn't have been. They should know better. But still, at the same time, why would you expect that thing without any way or means of knowing where it's going in a vast oceanic place to be able
See,
to get to the same
I
place
didn't
that
get
they
the
did.
impression that the island was that far out.
I did.
Yeah.
And I will give you the one thing for the sound is sound travels across water. So that is one concession that I will give to you for that, but I still don't like it.
No, fair enough. I am kind of surprised that the son didn't get ate with when the bear trap happened, but
Yeah.
because that was loud as shit.
Yep. Oh, and then
Yeah, folks, it's A Quiet Place
sorry.
Part 2 is what we're talking about.
Yeah. Her in the first movie, he was constantly out there at the tower, right? Trying to get a signal, trying to reach someone, trying to figure things out, the dad. In the second one, she just figures it out and is able to communicate with someone because she went higher up or something. I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched it because I didn't like it. I didn't watch it again. He would have been able to get a signal, and in my opinion, for how long they'd been out there and all of the stuff that they created and ways to live in that world and survive, I did not like that he wasn't able to reach anybody, but she just happened to be able to. When the guy was there the entire time, they knew each other beforehand, the neighbor person. And they just made it without even really explaining it. They made it seem like, it was because there was a higher point that she went to or something and got a clear line of sight to be able to communicate, which is a thing with radios. You need a line of sight, and they were in a valley or whatever. But he would have thought of that, plain and simple, in the first movie. So I didn't like that.
No, fair enough. Like I said, it's not as good as the first one is.
Yeah, right.
It isn't, but I did enjoy it. Because I guess for me, the biggest success of those movies was the sound design.
Yes.
The sound design is masterful in both of them. I mean, whoever did the sound design, it deserves all the praise and all the raises. You know, really, really well done, particularly when they were switching back and forth with POV. You know, like, so when it was someone else's POV, you could hear.
Yeah.
But when it was the main character, the deaf girl's POV, you couldn't hear anything she couldn't hear.
Right.
You know, which was everything. And then, you know, it switched back, and they did a very, very good job with that. That was, and I suppose because I really liked the first one, because it was one of the first horror movies that had come out in ages that I thought was worth a damn.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'd go back to 2005 as probably being the last, you know, like The Descent.
I really enjoyed that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. Did you watch the Drinkers? Was it a review of it?
I think it did Drinkers Recommend.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was like, review isn't what I was looking for.
Probably did.
I didn't know that there's a different ending depending on if it was the UK version or the US.
Really?
So I haven't seen it in forever, and I wanted to go watch it just because, like, rewatch it again, just because I know I enjoyed the movie. But after listening to Drinker Recommends and finding that out, I'm like, now I need to see the other ending, and I don't even remember which one that I had. I'm assuming I had the US one. So yeah, I gotta find those and rewatch them.
Yeah, it's funny. The first time that I saw it in theaters, and I guess I got one of the theaters that had the original cut in it, because that's the ending I remember. And then I went and I bought it on DVD, and it's got the American version. I was like, this seems different.
Oh.
You
So
know,
you've
but yeah, the
seen
first time I
both.
saw it, I got the full effect of the British ending, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's dark.
And I barely remember the movie. I just remember really enjoying it. Like I do remember little tiny pieces if I think about it hard enough. But
Spoiler alert for the chat. If you have not seen The Descent, close your ears now.
oh, so you're just gonna? I don't even know.
She
which
doesn't
ending
make it
that
out
is.
of the cave.
Does she in the US one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in the British one, no, she is stuck in the cave with the creatures closing in, lost in her own delusions. because she's gone mad.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the US version, they added on the bit where she finds her way out.
Or is it just in her head?
Yeah.
Even that.
So yeah, and there is a sequel to it that takes its cues from the American version.
Oh, okay.
The American ending, so that because obviously, like, she's in it. So but yeah, you know what? That's on you. I warned you.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's probably one of the last great horror movies to come out in the last decade. And I mean, I'm one of those guys. I don't count torture porn. I don't like
no,
torture
that's a
porn. I
thriller.
don't think that
It's not a horror.
I think that it's garbage, frankly, the whole genre. And I know there are people who disagree with me. My friend 300 Mirrors thinks that it's a good thing and part of the whole horror thing, and I think she's nuts. But it's a whole thing. But I do not count torture porn. And there's been a lot of that.
That's
so like
I
yeah,
like
they're
a
still
good
doing it.
horror. I don't care as much for it. So like I saw Hostel, the first one, and the first Saw. I didn't care when the sequel came out to Saw because I didn't want one. I enjoyed Saw. It was fine. It was whatever. I set it aside and didn't watch it again. The more they made, the less I wanted to watch any of them. I'm not interested in a continuous amount of them. So I feel like that has bled into horror, and people interchange the two, and I disagree. They're not the same. They're not the same genre at all. And I feel like it's actually ruining horror because people are doing that.
I thank you for that. I think Eli Roth is the worst fucking thing that's happened to horror movies in a long goddamn time.
See, and I'm not good with names of people behind.
He's the guy who did Hostel and
okay.
Cabin Fever, I think. Yeah.
Did I see that one? I know
it's the idiotic one about a bunch of kids in a cabin, and then some homeless dude dies and their only water source, and he's got like Ebola or some shit like that, or mad cow disease, and everybody goes nuts, and it's really stupid.
That's not obscure at all. Random person in the woods having something like that.
And less than 10 years after it came out, they remade it.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, no, it's garbage. Eli Roth is a terrible film director and writer, and I am not apologizing for that.
I forgive you for not apologizing for it because I don't care.
Yeah. So, but we were talking about animals on substances, and I did have another video that sort of relates to that.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure what this is. Some kind of ibex, or I don't know, maybe South American antelope or something like that. But anyway, he's definitely into drinking.
Oh my God. Blush. Sir, I think you're an alcoholic if you need to finish off everybody's wasted beer.
Yeah.
Man. Awesome.
No. Yeah. He's like that guy at the end of the night, when everybody's clearing out of the bar, who's just he's just going at it. He's just trying to finish up all the drinks left on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a problem. You should probably say something about it.
He does have a problem.
Or maybe he was just really thirsty and couldn't find an oasis.
Yeah. Lou, I would have thought that it was some kind of ass or donkey, because it's certainly built like one, but it's got some sort of antler horn thing going on, which donkeys don't have. So I don't know. I don't know what that is.
I feel like it's probably in Africa. Like, it reminds me of something that I don't know the name of that I've seen in like that realm of the planet. Mm-hmm. But I could be wrong.
Hey, Zeron. Been a minute. Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing?
Hello.
So yeah, but there's all kinds of weird things out there on the web if you look for them.
Oh.
Unfortunately, you're gonna wade through a lot of really awful shit to get there too. So
Yeah.
I mean,
the joys of the internet, though.
yeah,
The old joys.
yeah. Anything labeled R34, stay away from.
And what is that?
Rule 34. You don't know about Rule 34?
No.
Rule 34 of the internet, it states that if it exists, there's porn of it.
Ah. Okay. I've heard that before. Maybe I just didn't connect the reference to Rule 34.
If something is a thing that people are aware of, somebody somewhere has made a porn parody of it or a porn version of it.
I mean, I'm not shocked at all. So
yeah. So
noted.
Yeah, don't if it's labeled R34 and you want to keep your peepers in your head.
That was literally what I was going to ask, and people label it as R34. Got it.
Not always. No, they don't.
Sometimes. Okay.
I'm pretty sure there are a few Reddit threads. r/R34. But don't go searching that stuff out if you want to retain any level of innocence whatsoever.
I mean, I do stream with Dermy, so my innocence level is just dwindling.
Yeah, mine too. Speaking of which,
oh god,
did you happen to catch AOC's little video earlier?
Like the
video?
Yeah, no. I saw it around, and I was just like, I don't care.
I think it's a good idea to listen to what she's saying here. Yeah, I understand. I do, but this is important. This particular video is of I think massive importance.
Of the region. That means being able to support yes, Israel in its defensive capacities, right? In its ability in that context. But it also means that the United States has a responsibility to ensure accountability to human rights, to prevent the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians, and to ensure that horrors do not happen in the names of victims who do not want their tragedy used to justify further violence and injustice.
Right.
Did you catch all that?
Yeah.
Right about there, I think.
Do not want their tragedy used.
This is on her. This is her account. She posted this.
Yeah, it's not a parody. Yeah.
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 I mean, man, that's a great mic.
Yeah.
Either that or she's really loud.
I saw like an infrared version floating around of this as well.
We have that too.
Yeah.
Yep. We have that too. Give me just a second and I will pull that up.
How do you
because I saved both of them.
Zeron the gamer? Is that how that's said?
Zeron.
Mm. I do like anime, yes. Although I like obscure anime because I'm the type of person that doesn't like things that other people like until maybe I know it's finished and then I go binge it. But yes, I do like anime. Sam less so than me.
In general, no, it's not my thing. So some enterprising person on the internet decided to do a thermograph version of the same video. I don't know if this was added in or if it was actually captured or what, but it is hilarious.
In the names of victims who do not want their tragedy used to justify, in the names of victims who do not want their tragedy used to justify.
What's funny about this is the timing of it is great in what she is actually saying, because I'm sorry, are you in commune with these victims? Like,
Right.
some of them are dead, you realize. Don't speak for them. I'm sure what she's saying is true, that they wouldn't want that. But it's also like she's
this
talking
woman
out of her ass.
speaks for the people who are being held up by ICE at the border, and she doesn't go down there and talk to them. You know,
Right.
she's made it. She doesn't speak with anybody. You know, but she
Yes.
speaks for people. Sure.
She sure likes taking photo shoots, though.
Yeah, you know, unless your name is Alex Stein.
Well, yes. It's so good.
She doesn't
I
like
love
it so
that
much.
video.
Actually, what's funny too, because if you watch that Alex Stein video, she was totally into it until after the fact.
Yep. Because she didn't realize she was getting trolled at all.
Yeah.
She thought
And
he
then
was
when
an
she
actual
realized
man.
it, she's like, "Oh my gosh, why is this
After
man
the
out here?"
fact, oh well, he violated me.
It's like, well,
Classic
unfortunately
woman.
for you, he is a U.S. citizen on publicly owned property, not breaking any laws whatsoever. You just didn't like him.
Exactly. You liked him just fine in the moment because you thought that he supported you. It's just a
He
classic
complimented her.
modern woman thing. It's true.
He did. He complimented her big juicy Latina booty.
I love the freaking rap song that he made about it.
My favorite part is that he said big look beautiful Latina booty. She is the one who added the word juicy.
Really?
Yes. You go back and watch that. He never says juicy once, but when she is quoting what he said or you know, saying what he said, she said big juicy Latina booty. And I'm like,
it's what she wanted to hear.
Yeah.
All right. Duly noted.
Good stuff. So I just thought I'd start us off a little light today because, you know, last week was kind of heavy and I watched a bunch of shit that caused me to lose sleep. So I lose enough sleep as it is. But there are there's I know you've seen the Bigfoot video. Hey, chat, have you guys seen the footage of Bigfoot that they caught in Colorado this week? If you have, I won't bring it up because, you know, y'all have seen it. But yeah, if you're interested, I'll definitely bring it up. Yeah, but yeah, it was interesting. It's I think you're probably some dude in a suit.
Oh,
you guys haven't seen
like a ghillie suit. Yeah, might as well pull it up.
Yeah,
they haven't seen it.
It could have, you know, could have been like I don't know, maybe a homemade, you know, Sasquatch suit. Somebody was out there looking to scare people, thinking there was a Sasquatch.
Yep.
All right, so this is a little hard to see because he blends in a little bit, but he is right here. You guys can see my cursor. That doesn't look like you can. Right dead center. Maybe a little bit up top, but you'll see him moving here in just a second. There he is.
An elusive creature.
And then he cops a squat.
Just squatted down. Yeah, let me see your camera.
Right up in here.
An elusive creature. All right, just squatted down. Yeah, let me see your camera.
I mean, there might be nothing to it. It might be just a dude in a suit. But what if it was a Sasquatch copping a Sasquatch?
Cool.
Yeah.
Like, cool, you exist, dude. You probably shouldn't be out in the open if you want to keep yourself a secret like you have for decades.
Right. Yeah. So it could yeah, we can never get a clear picture for some reason. I bet if you zoomed in real good, you could see his doogie though.
Yeah, just what everybody wants to see.
Right, but I bet that wouldn't be obscured. You're never going to get clear footage of Sasquatch. I'm not saying that they're not a thing. I'm saying that I have seen no solid evidence that they're a thing.
Yeah.
You know,
like I need a bit more even from that video.
I've also never had a flying saucer land on my front lawn. Doesn't mean I don't think that they're not out there. You know?
Correct.
So,
it is a vast universe.
Yeah, Luke Astley, it's that video. That's it. That's the whole thing. Some guy on a train caught that footage in Colorado, and then posted it on the internet. So, I don't know if the guy on the train was maybe in league with the dude in the suit and this was planned, or if he just happened to look out his window. He's like, what the fuck? And started filming.
Supposedly it was him and his wife. They were on like their honeymoon or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Vacation.
why would you go to Colorado on your honeymoon?
Lord if I know. No, thank you.
Especially like, look at that part of Colorado.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's not Vail. It's not
No.
Breckenridge. What are you doing? Go to the mountains. You don't want like the desert plain area.
Yeah, that looks like the western slope actually, which is scrub brush and rocks.
Yeah, like no, thank you. Colorado is unimpressive. I am biased. I miss Montana. I hate it here.
I lived in Colorado for a long time, but I lived on the eastern slope on the Front Range. Along the I-25 corridor, and there are places there that are gorgeous. But there are
Red Rocks. Yes.
People, like I grew up in Fort Collins.
Okay. Yeah.
Fort Collins has more trees per capita than any other city in the lower 48. I mean, they're almost all transplants because when the original fort was there, it was just this tiny little. It wasn't even like a quarter of a square block. It was just a little bitty fort, couple of buildings. They're still there. They're just mostly rotten logs at this point.
Technically, Fort Collins is much better than where I'm at. So
yeah, so it was
Loveland.
But it was flat scrubland. Most of the trees that you got there now are definitely not native to the area, and a lot of them aren't even native to the continent.
Yeah.
So, but it's really pretty. It's also full of Coloradans, so there's that.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And by Coloradans, I mean Californians.
Yep. And it's funny because I literally came to Colorado at the same time that the Californians were like, weed, yay! And came to Colorado. But that was just because my contract was up with the military. So Montana doesn't have an economy in comparison, at least a decade ago. I don't know about now. But I wasn't going to go home. And I've been here
that is...
for 10 years.
Well, I mean, you made that decision.
Yep, I know. Trying to adjust it.
No, I was still in Colorado when they started legalizing marijuana everywhere, and it's one of the reasons that I left.
Yeah.
I mean, it got to a point where you couldn't even smell Greeley over the smell of cannabis.
Yep, and I hate the smell.
Right.
I hate it.
And for those people who don't know what that reference is, Greeley, Colorado, has several very large sheep herds surrounding that town. The whole county actually smells kind of like sheep shit. And you can smell that city from like 15 miles away.
That's preferable. That's just the country, which I miss.
Yeah. Well, it is until you get into Greeley, and then it's all gangbangers everywhere all the time. So, all that. I actually got punched pretty hard by a gangbanger when I was about 11 years old at Greeley.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was fun.
So, essentially what had happened was because I didn't want to get in trouble, I told my dad a slightly different version of this.
As an 11-year-old would, yes.
Yeah. But me and my buddy were hanging out on one of the main thoroughfares, and we're just standing on the side of the road, and we just decide we're going to have some fun, so we start flipping off cars that are passing by. Right now, the story I told my dad was we were mooning cars. Seemed like something that a kid would do and not think too much about. Whereas if I was flipping people off, I knew I was in trouble because I wasn't supposed to be doing that at all.
Yeah, which is funny, like the level.
Yeah, so I was yeah, I was showing because that's better than a finger.
Yep.
And so this one dude stops, right? We see him slowing down, pulling over, and we're like, oh shit, we better go, right?
Yeah.
So we're ass down the thing, and he corners us in this alley with his car, and he's got his brights on him. So of course we're blind as shit.
Yeah.
too dumb to look away. And he gets out and he's just like, you think that's funny? You think that's funny? And, next thing I know, and I'm laughing, of course, because yes, I thought it was hilarious. I was 11.
Yes.
And the next thing I know, he popped me in the left temple real hard. And I'm still laughing at this point, but not because, things are funny, but because I can't seem to stop.
Yeah.
It was like everything got jumbled around for a second. I can't
Yep.
really see, I couldn't even hear the next question. And then he hit me again. And then eventually I don't even really remember how that resolved. I just remember that I wasn't being hit anymore and I wandered home with my buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I got there, of course, I had a goose egg over my left eye that was sizable.
I'm sure.
And not something I could conceal from my dad, who then decided he was going to go hunting.
Ah.
Yeah. I didn't really have a good description of the guy to give him, though, because
got knocked around a bit.
Well, dude blinded me before I never saw
Yeah.
his face. He hit us with the brights real hard and then got out and he was behind the lights for most of it. And then,
Right.
when he got up close, I still couldn't see shit. So then he hit me and then I really couldn't see shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the last time I started like just, throwing insulting hand gestures at people
Random
driving
cars.
by for
Yeah.
no reason. Like,
People you
now
don't
when I do
know,
it, I
you're
have a
right.
reason.
Same.
Yeah. He knows now. Well, I mean, it was 30 plus years ago, so it's not. He's gonna be all right.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay with it now.
And my dad knows some stuff that you guys don't know that I'm never going to tell you guys. So like I think we'll be okay. But at the time, yeah, I lied to him because I was just like I didn't want to get in more trouble because I was throwing out the old bird. Because for some reason, that was my only concern. I wasn't concerned about the guy who hit me. I wasn't concerned about my health. I was just concerned that I was going to get in trouble because I was flipping people off. Because I was 11.
Yep.
So
It was fun to be a shithead as a kid, though. Oh, it's fun to be a shithead as an adult, too, if I really think about it.
It can be. Yeah, I try to limit that these days to interactions where I don't actually have to, rely on having a relationship with that
Yes,
person,
absolutely.
business or otherwise, because like there are certain yahoos on the internet that I have no problem. Like, then again, I don't really go out and try and start shit because that's
Right.
You never know when that's going to bite you in the ass.
So-
even if you really want to, you just like, I don't know, this could come back on me later.
Yeah. And that's technically how, honestly, if I start shit, it's jokingly and it's with like ball busters people and vets talking.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But there was when I was getting a bunch of like rip reverse stuff, I would post the pictures of it. And there was this one random person that I can't even remember what they said, but it was attempting to insult me for, it was like, ew, gross, a dick rider or something like that, and put like a meme of like a grown-ass man bug spraying a kid or something. I was like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, are you stupid? Like, what are you trying to do here? It was just a random name. It wasn't one of the freaking Clipaverse type of whatever drama.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, do I reply? Do I ignore? Do I lay into it? And I eventually just replied with clout chase elsewhere, but do keep in mind. And I just put no one cares GIF. It was retarded. I just, these people on the internet need to get off the internet. As I'm on the internet saying it, I realize.
Right. There's a little irony there. That said, that's actually not bad advice for pretty much everybody. Is like, get off the internet once in a while. Go outside. Do the. I know it's meant as an insult these days, but go outside and touch grass. Or breathe the free air, or like if it's nighttime, look at the stars. Just like connect with the world that you actually live in, as opposed to the virtual world that we spend all of our time in.
Mm-hmm.
Shit's not good for any of us.
People need real human interaction too.
Yeah. And I say that as I ironically spend pretty much all of my waking hours not at work online.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. I mean, at work for me, like my work is emails and internet pretty much all day.
Yeah, no, not mine. My job keeps me moving. We have a wellness coordinator / director in our HR department. Is always trying to get me to sign up for these little wellness program things where you want to, you hit certain markers and certain goals and you get rewards and and all that stuff. And I was just like, I don't want to. And she's like, why not? I was like, woman, I hit like 18 flights of stairs a day. I walk to work. I walk home. I am
Yeah.
always moving.
I don't need extra incentive.
I was like, and I do that because I have to. I'm sure as shit not doing it because I want to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See, with my job, if you hit certain like target threshold, all that crap with your BMI and all your blood work, you get a discount on your medical. It's the only reason that I do that. Like, if I don't have to pay as much, I won't.
I'll admit it makes some sense for people who have like sedentary jobs, like desk jobs, that kind of thing. Like like if you're sitting on your ass for 8 hours a day, right? It might not be a good idea to get up and move around once in a while.
Yeah.
Or it might not be a bad idea to do
I
that.
knew what you meant. And we actually used to have a more robust where like you need to record your steps and like once a quarter you have to do these specific things. And then since people have been working from home, they just made the requirement as your BMI and blood work. So I thought that was interesting. I'm like, wouldn't it be better to make sure people who are working from home are getting out of the house and getting their steps in and all that bullshit? But whatever, I don't care. It means I have to do less, and I already do those things because I'm not an idiot. So, personal accountability, I'm all about it. These people don't do that, that's on them.
Yeah. Now, for myself, obviously, I'm not gonna sign up and be like, hey, yo, exercise the shit out of me. That's not gonna happen because number one, I'll be honest, I hate exercise. I've hated exercise since I was a little kid. That has not changed. Number two, I have an extraordinarily high metabolism, even in my 40s, right?
I hate you.
I still will lose weight if I eat too much because it speeds up to compensate for the additional calories. It's just one of those things. I got blessed with that. So I'm not a big guy anyway. I mean, I'm tall, so I'm a big guy, but I'm not like, broad in the belly or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit there, but that's just because I'm getting older and, all of my chest muscles from my fighting days kind of migrated south. But
tends to happen.
But that's an age thing more than anything else. And the fact is that I get plenty of cardio. I walk everywhere.
Right. When it's a basic part of the job. Yeah.
The biggest hill in the county is between me and my job. Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm constantly moving at work. I get to sit down maybe twice a day, maybe for about 10 minutes. So like, I don't have a sedentary job.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but I'm not gonna go do fucking jumping jacks because some lady with a plastic smile tells me I have to for points. That's not happening.
See, basically I just go over to my kitchen over there on my lunch and do some workouts. I haven't lately. I still lost weight somehow, but I'm not going to complain about that. Paul, hello. Long time no chat. All friggin' weekend.
Right. was on stream with Paul. Listen, well, about 12 hours ago, a little more now, but we got Zillage also in chat. Sorry, man, I forgot to say hello. Also to you, Bush. Good to have you here. And Cliff Anderson. But yeah, exercise is for people as needs it. And I believe that. And and if I had a sedentary job, I would probably be more open to the idea just because, like nobody wants to die of heart failure at 45.
Right. And like the workouts that I do are just basic workouts that you learned as a kid, but also I amplified in the Marines. And I just get the heart rate up. I don't do anything excessive, not weightlifting. I'm in my house. I don't want to pay for a gym membership when I can do pretty much what I need to maintain with my diet a healthy body.
Well, unless you're building bulk for some reason or
Yeah.
other, there's no need for a gym. You don't anything you need to do to keep yourself healthy and active, you can do without equipment. You can do without gym memberships.
Yep.
You can do without some instructor yelling in your ear, and you can definitely do without risk of crushing yourself under weights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that you can do at home just with body weight that will help you out in comparison. Like gyms are a little overrated unless
Mhm.
you're wanting to bodybuild.
Yeah, isometrics.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, great for that sort of thing. And you can actually build strength without building mass.
Yep.
I mean, a little mass, but you know, it's not gonna bulk you up like
Excessive.
bodybuilder size.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
it will tone your muscles to a degree that you'll be a lot stronger than you appear to be. We'll say
Right.
that.
Yep.
You know, and that's you know, but I guess that's something that people really needed to take into consideration, especially over the last 3 years, given
Absolutely.
how everybody's, you know, home all the time now, and they don't go outside, they don't do anything. A lot of people are still afraid to have contact with other people at all. And they're not, but they're not taking care of their bodies while they're doing it. You know, they order the DoorDash or the Uber Eats or whatever, and they've got piles of fucking food just lying around, you
Right.
know, wrappers and such, and that's their existence now. It's like, oh, you know, when you get sick, there are other factors to consider here other than like people. You know?
Exactly. Yes.
Like maybe you know, take a walk around the block once in a while. It'll do you good. You know,
Don't really
get
like
some
my
of that
area enough, but yes, I do technically agree with it.
get some of that vitamin D through your skin from the sun, you know, just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to go out and get fucking toasted, you know, but you know, just get a little bit of exposure to fresh air and sunlight. And this is funny again coming from me because I will avoid the hate ball in the sky as much as humanly possible because it hates me.
Yes.
Very pale.
Y'all can see I glow in the light. Like, no judgment here.
Right.
Irish heritage.
So I have any funny story. Well, not funny story, but fun fact. I haven't worn shorts since I was 12 years old.
Really?
My calves have not seen the sun since I was 12 years old. I wear long pants all the time.
So you're like translucent in the light.
I'm pretty sure you can see the bones through my skin. And not because I don't have any muscle there, but just because the skin is so pale. Yeah.
See, and I love the beach and all of that. Like, I'm lucky I will burn and then it turns into a tan, at least a tan for me, that doesn't last very long. So sometimes I get color, but it's rare in a landlocked state like this.
Yeah. Do you have any mixed blood, any native blood?
Like 1/164th, yes.
Okay, so not enough to make a difference in terms of tanning.
Exactly.
Yeah. I do. I have a fair amount of it, and when I was young, I didn't burn at all. I just, you know, got darker, you know,
Yeah.
in the sun, and that was as a result of those genes from that part of my bloodline. But again, a lot of bad shit happened when I was 11, 12 years old. Now that I think about it, that was a rough period of my life. But so I went to Waterworld with a bunch of other kids, and it was an all-day excursion. You know, got there at like 9 o'clock in the morning. We left at like 5 p.m.
Mhm.
I applied sunscreen once when we got there. And
Mhm.
like a little kid, I probably didn't apply that correctly. At the end of that day, I had a 3rd-degree burn over nearly every inch of my body, except
Oh, I
where
hate
my
those.
trunks were,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And ever since then, and it took weeks and weeks to heal. I couldn't even like sit down or lay down for like 4 days because it hurt to move that much, and yeah, so eventually it heals up after it stopped cracking and seeping.
And blistering and oozing
Yeah.
and yep.
It was ugly. But ever since I
Yeah.
got that burned, I was that severely burned, I no longer tan in the sun.
Really?
I burn like a motherfucker
God.
and then I tan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and that's just been my life story.
Yeah.
Always how it's been for me.
Yep. That is incorrect, Shadow. That is incorrect. I only have four different native tribes in my blood, and 3 of them are from my mother's side because she's from Oklahoma, where the 5 civilized tribes were settled after the Trail of Tears. So 3 of the 5 civilized tribes are in my blood, but it's minuscule. From my father's side, however, a pretty significant amount of Oglala Lakota from the Dakotas, where he's from.
Mm-hmm.
And all that. Enough so that I'm a registered member of the Oglala Lakota Sioux tribe at Pine Ridge. I can legally own eagle feathers and yeah,
Wow.
smoke peyote if I want legally.
Nice.
I don't because peyote is fucking nasty, but but I could if I wanted to, and that's the point. But the rest of me is very much European. Significant amount of German, but the rest of it's like from all over the place. In
Oh yeah, I'm
Western and
basically
Northern.
a white mutt.
Mhm. Yeah. So, no, you can't call me Sacagawea. Sacagawea was from an entirely different tribe, first of all, and also an underage girl.
So I wasn't sure if he was talking to you or me because earlier I said, sure, you can call me Pocahontas because Cliff was like, so you're like Senator, we can call you
okay.
Senator Warren.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It's
Yeah, you could call me Senator Warren, but you'd be inaccurate because Senator Warren is in fact not native at all.
well, no. The question was for me because I'm only like 1/164th.
Right.
Yeah.
Jutulian, I don't know what that is. Not familiar with that one.
Was he meaning Cthulian maybe?
Oh, Cthulian. Yeah, well,
Just typoed it.
yeah.
But it
You
would
guys
be
know that's just a
Kenthulian.
character yeah. You guys do know that that's just a character for the internet, right?
I would hope so.
Yeah. It's not real. Most of what you see on the internet is not. But yeah, if I were to go that way, it'd be a whole other order. But you still got to walk around in your stupid people suit, and it's got to be made up of something.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if anything, you'd be Lovecraftian.
yeah, with great abs.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you're gonna take any form, why does it have to be, displeasing to the eye?
It's true.
Clifton, it's all a lie. Well, yes. The long man is in fact not actually 12 feet tall. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. We're all adults here, mostly.
I claim nothing of the sort. I am a child.
Right. So, but yeah, no, it. I guess basically what I'm getting at is that exercise is good for you in moderation, like anything else.
Yes.
You also don't want to overdo it. You end up with like those bloated, roided out freaks who look like somebody stuck a garden hose under their skin and just started fucking filling them up.
Isn't there like injections or something that people do now into their muscles? That gross crap.
That's a whole other order of fucking weird, but yes, they do.
With like some concoction that they drink or something. Dermy was talking about it on like a Ballbusters.
They inject liquid directly into the muscle tissue, and it fills up, and it's supposed to simulate,
Minecraft.
Basically, yeah. It's
or like 90s video game graphics.
Yeah, or
it reminds me of.
I can't remember his name. The guy who created Deadpool. He did that really horrendous Captain America drawing where he had breasts out to like Timbuktu. I cannot remember his name.
Well, and you know how good I am at that, so I'm not going to be of help.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anyway. Like his drawings where they're all bloated and distended and they don't look right. That's kind of, you don't want to do that because that's going to be a problem later in life. It's going to be a problem when all of that muscle tissue starts breaking down, if it is in fact muscle tissue and you didn't just inflate yourself with artificial means, in which case you're going to have all kinds of other problems when that starts breaking down.
Right.
That's yeah. But yeah, no, a little bit of exercise, keeping yourself in shape, or at least keeping your lungs and your heart and your immune system up and going. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt to eat a probiotic once in a while either.
Yeah, it tends to help sometimes.
So yeah, you want to keep that good bacteria in your stomach going, because otherwise you have problems later, like I do.
That's no good.
Well, it's some of it's a product of getting older. Some of it's from loving certain kinds of food too much, and then those foods like falling out of love
Betraying
with me.
you. Yeah.
Goddamn Mexican food. Anyway, look, I love Mexican food. It hates my guts, and I know it hates my guts because it makes my guts feel like they're full of like gravel and broken glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I do love me some Mexican food, but I just super sick. I'm literally eating Oreo ice cream. Yep, because that's super healthy.
Good discussion to have for you then.
See, I'm a little torn on the eat your veggies thing, because on the one hand, I'm very much of the carnivorous persuasion, and I don't mean carnivore diet. I mean, I like meat. I prefer to eat meat, and I will avoid eating plant-based things, not because I it's a dietary thing. I just don't fucking like fruits and vegetables for the most part.
Well,
so I eat
and
what I have to survive.
I am currently on the carnivore diet with a slice of keto because there's specific veggies to eat so you can get fiber, because carnivore diet does not give you pretty much any fiber. So that's why the bro and I highly recommend it, and I talk about it on the internet all the time, but I'm not a doctor, so don't take it like that. I'm 2 pounds away from my goal, Sam. 2 pounds.
Congratulations. That's pretty
Back
cool.
to my marine weight.
I don't make enough money to be particular about my diet.
No.
Yeah. So I do eat a lot of garbage too, just straight up garbage, but like a goat, or an American.
Hey, Clue. How's it going? He's in the chat.
So yeah, it's I don't know, but I if I have my choice, I will eat meat over pretty much anything else. Bread's a close second. I know there are people who are like, "Oh, you should get off of bread. Bread's no good." I don't care. It's delicious.
That was so when my bro and I first started, it was basically January on the carnivore diet.
Real quick, you said my bro and I, right?
Yes.
Okay, because it sounded like my brown eye.
My bro and I.
Okay, there we go.
Sorry. It's hilarious because I was like scratching my eye too. All right. So my brother and I, when we first started the diet, like initially we were doing just straight carnivore and not seasoning anything. And we've kind of revamped it to certain things that you can have on keto. So it's not as boring of a diet. And so we're not as strict with it. But when we first started, it, I lost like 7 pounds in 3 weeks, not changing anything besides the diet. But the one thing that I was really going to be sad about was bread, because I love bread. But now that we're doing somewhat keto, I found this Sola brand keto bread, and it's very, very, very close to regular bread, to where I don't even know the difference now.
But it's not.
But it's pretty damn close, so I'm
But
okay
it
with it.
isn't.
You'll be okay, Sam. I'm not telling
like
you
when-
that you have to.
Oh, I'm definitely not going
I'm
to.
just literally saying that I get my bread via that, and it's there. I've made
if I
some
had to give
homemade
up
stuff.
brioche, I would probably murder people
Oh
in
God,
Minecraft.
you're like a bread snob too.
What brioche is fucking awesome. It
brioche.
makes the best sandwiches.
Oh, I don't
I
make
will
enough
eat
money
cheap.
to-
I will eat American cheese slices and Oscar Mayer bologna as long as I have brioche.
bread snob.
Yeah, I like.
I mean,
good
I'm
bread.
a bread snob in the sense of I prefer homemade bread, but
Oh, it's
brioche.
delicious.
God.
Hey, Kenzo, long time no
Oh, hello,
Swifty.
Kenzo. Yeah, right.
I'll
Just had to
stop,
bring
dude.
it
I
up.
just I had to get that out. You're gonna get a lot more shit from a lot of people about that, so I will back off a little bit.
That was actually a very tame reference to it. So
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
not claim to be nice about it.
Some of the shit Mrs. Kenzo said about that
God.
it's like, good God, that's your wife, man.
The meme, the freaking meme that she made. That was the best. It was the best. It made me so happy.
That's good. If you guys are at all curious about that after the stream, go check out Beelzebub
Beelzebub.
aired this morning on Beelzebub because that show was a fucking blast. It was a lot of fun.
It was awesome.
No, it was also in the middle of the night, and some of us were just waking up. Some of us hadn't been to bed yet. It was an interesting show. It's
Yep.
cool to meet Lethal Lightning, though. I hadn't met him
Yeah.
before.
I
I'd
mean,
heard his name a
internet,
bunch,
like
but
streaming with
the
him.
guy's always getting banned off one platform or another.
Yeah.
So like I never ran into him proper until last night.
Well, and I only recently started watching the Full Aussie and like their channels and stuff, like discovered their stuff. Yeah, so it was pretty cool that he came on stream. This is so weird.
Unfortunately, I have a backlog of my friends' stuff to get through, and so I have not sat down and watched a whole episode of the full Aussie. I have I've watched a number of their clips and shorts, but I'm trying really hard just to. I haven't watched Friday Night Tights in weeks.
Really? I mean, I listen while I'm working, so
right.
Yeah, it's easier for me to.
It's not that I don't want to, but the fact is like honestly, I don't know those guys, and people I do know are also making content. So I am watching my friends to promote to lend to their boost hours and their watch time and all that stuff. And that does not actually. The more friends I make on the internet, the less time I have to watch the bigger channels.
Yep.
So.
Yep. My day, like as I work, I'm just listening to YouTube videos all day because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I specifically the podcast stuff. I don't like watching short form videos because typically there's stuff in them that is very visual and you have to like sit down and watch. And I don't have time to do that. So I'll put in headphones and I'll listen to the podcasts and the panel streams and all that stuff because that's what gets me through my day. Plus it's long form content, so I don't have to keep like stopping to search for something else to look for. So, but I'll listen to other people's podcasts all week long while I'm at work.
See, and that's why I like the watch later playlist feature.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'll be listening to a podcast or something, I'll get the notification and just put it into my watch later, and then they just autoplay when I'm in that playlist. So
yeah, it would. That's one way to do it.
Yeah,
I don't even put things in watch later anymore.
Yeah, because then you never get to it.
Yeah, pretty much. But where's? Oh, I'm not even seeing the watch later thing coming up here. But where is it? There, I know there's a watch later playlist.
Go to your library. Are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone. My phone's being stupid.
On YouTube?
No. Yeah.
I
know how to do this.
Bottom right corner, Sam. Bottom right corner. Library.
Yeah. Library. Yeah, it's on the library. It's not showing up here.
Oh, look, there's mine. Watch later. Boop.
Oh, no, I found it. Yeah, I have almost 1,800 videos in watch later.
I don't pay attention to that number. Let me see. I only have 60, so but that's because I watched them.
The last time I added something to it was 2 months ago. Because yeah, I sort of stopped doing it. There's some things in here that I have watched that I haven't removed from here, but I'd have to go through all 1,753 videos to figure out which ones those are. And I could probably cut it down to about 1,200 videos actually if I did that. But I mean, that's like a week-long project.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
That's daunting. No, thank you.
I'm just going to ignore that playlist exists at this point. So I use the history feature a lot more than I use the watch later feature. Because it's more recent, more up to date. Like if I started something and I want to go back and finish it, I'll just scroll back to like whichever day it was that I was watching it, and I can find it again, and it'll pick up right where I left it off. So,
what's Ryan's excuse?
Oh, did he say he wasn't coming?
Yeah, he tried to send a message earlier, but it didn't send or something.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He left the air show at the airport. There wasn't any service. Excuses always with this man.
Yeah. Well, his
that's more for him to watch later and hear me make fun of him for it than anything else.
Well, I mean, real life happens.
Yes.
You know, it's
I wasn't even here last week, so
yeah. I am I don't know if he's not going to be on the show, though. I'm considering not streaming it to his fucking channel. Just saying, dude. Because we are. Not just his channel, but his Twitter page as well.
I totally forgot about that. That's funny.
No, it's just it's just easy enough to set up that way.
Yeah.
And all that.
Well, I mean, I say yeah, like I understand. I don't, but I take your word for it as more. Like, yeah. I'm probably worse than Devil. I wasn't here for y'all helping him boomer through stuff, but
it's like I just have 500,000 white people. That seems like a lot of RAM taken up.
A little bit. My brother does that too, though. So no judgment.
I've got 3
here.
windows open, and and my piece of shit laptop has trouble keeping up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just the 3 tabs, and one of them is StreamYard, which is the very thing that we're on here. So that it just is what it is. All right, Corey, good to see you. Yeah, real life was that. You know, it's fine because I make clips of the Star Trek show when he's not there, making fun of him not being there. So, you know, it's fine. All that, but yeah, there is actually a group chat where the link for this gets posted, and everybody who's in that group chat can come in at any point while we're live. So, you know, I knew Nomi wasn't going to make it today because she had work. You know, and I figured Larry probably would pop in, but it won't be till later because he usually is out doing family stuff with his family and stuff on Saturdays.
Yeah.
You know, I think I don't know. Clue was in chat a minute ago. I don't know if he still is, but he works pretty irregular hours, so it's kind of hit or miss whether he'll be able to show up, get week to week. He does when he can.
Drives, right?
Kind of thing. Yeah. Luke Hasley has an open door. We have an open door policy for Luke Hasley. She just doesn't want to come up here with us degenerates very often because
I feel like this has been a tame one.
Yeah.
I was degenerate on our last stream 12 hours ago.
Holy shit, were we ever? It was
Sometimes I feel like I'm worse than all of you guys combined. Like the guys in this space. Like if I get going on stuff, I'm just like, whatever. Caution to the wind. This is back to my military days where I didn't give a shit about anything.
Yeah, it was fun though. But yeah, if you have sensitive ears, don't go watch.
Yeah, I'm not a lady.
Pub. Yeah,
I'll just preface with that.
No, none of us were ladies except perhaps for Kenzo.
Yeah, he was probably the biggest lady of us, for sure. Yeah.
Well, he did go down on a pickle.
On full screen. On
Yeah.
full. It
With
was
like chunks of pickle on his tongue. It was weird.
oh god, it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. You're not. That's no kid. It's I do have you on occasionally. Hell, you were on last week. You know, there are some people who are like part of the show, and there are other people that I keep more in reserve. You know, guest status and all that stuff. People who I think are appropriate for some topics, but not others. That kind of thing. And it's nothing personal. It's just kind of how the flow of the show goes. You know, so that's yeah. And then there are a handful of people who out there in the internet multiverse that I will never ask to be on this show. Have never asked to be on this show, and will never ask to be on this show. Most of them wouldn't say yes anyway, but you know, but that there's some people like Vito. Vito can stay the fuck off my corner of the internet.
Yeah. My corner of the planet in general, but yeah.
You know. And Pearl Davis, fuck that lady. I mean, you know, I don't want to get into that too much here because this is not that kind of channel. But the less she's in my feed, the better.
I cannot stand her. And what's funny, technically the first time I'd ever heard her open her mouth, it was on that the Vice, I think, things that Sydney Watson did.
Yeah, she was just starting to hit her stride as far as getting famous about this stuff at that time. She had her own podcast. It was doing well, but that really kind of put her into everybody's
springboarded. Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, and that's literally the only, I didn't know a damn thing about her before that.
Yeah. She will show up in your feed. You know what? I think we should talk about her just so that she shows up in Shadow's feed.
I actually, this morning, Chrissy Mayer shared something is what it was.
I know. I don't know why she won't just fucking drop it with that woman. I know why. I know because Chrissy is the kind of person who once she figures out that, you know, like once she gets on a track of something, she's going to go down that track and see where it leads. And especially if she's irritated with the person and she knows it's going to bother them you know, or get under their skin. And to be fair, Pearl started talking crap about Simpcast the other day too. So, you know, this is not, this is why I don't do this stuff. This is why I don't go after other channels.
Engage in it. Yeah.
Because it's not going to end well for anybody. It's just going to get ugly. Like the thing with Ricada and Eric July, like that keeps getting fucking uglier. And it's like, dude, if both of you would just fucking drop it.
Just stop talking about it and stop not talking about it in ways where you're talking about it.
Right. You know, it just like that kind of thing only leads to trouble. I get that it also leads to views, but it really just, you're going to end up burning bridges with people on one side or to other. And then, you know, other people are going to feel like they're forced to make a choice about who they want to spend their time. Like, and it just, this is exactly what happened to the Phantom Menace, by the way.
Really?
Oh yeah. No, this is why it fractured the way it did, is because people started infighting.
Yeah.
And people pick sides. And
well, and it's so funny because Rackets hates communities. Like when LawTube started becoming a thing, he's like, I don't want anything to do with it because this is what happens. Communities take place, and then there's going to be one or two things that happen where they're going to break apart and it gets super gay and everybody has to pick sides, and then it fractures and it's never the same and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, that happened with LawTube because of one bitch.
Are you referring to the infamous "I'm drunk and showing my ass to the world" stream? Because I was watching that shit live.
God.
And it was hysterical.
I hated it, but whatever. And now it's not even, they were in a community together. Like it was all just, you know, people were friends with certain people that were all in the same community adjacently. And now
Well,
it's two different
yeah.
communities that were okay with each other that are now fracturing, sort of. It's
Right. And I don't know. And that's the other problem with talking about this kind of thing, even just as we're doing now,
Yep.
is like we're referring to things that happened like months or even years ago, between other YouTubers that maybe somebody who's listening to this doesn't follow or hasn't heard of, or maybe they have, but they weren't aware of stuff and all that stuff. So everything that we're saying sounds like some kind of inside joke or information. It's all
Yeah.
out there, but
Yep.
even the way we're talking about it, like it can't be helped. It sounds like we're having a private conversation that everybody else is listening to without
Yeah.
context. And so people get lost over this stuff because it's stupid.
Yes. I hate drama. I've always hated drama. Like, I don't really like drama shows, Game of Thrones set aside. But even then, sometimes I was like, why am I watching this? It's just drama. And it's a human nature thing, and I hate it.
Yeah.
This is why I don't get along with women, because women basically perpetuate it as a general thing.
To be honest, this isn't just human nature. This is peacetime human nature.
Yes.
This is
Oh,
what we
absolutely.
do when we've
Complacency
got nothing
kills.
we have nothing to focus on and no real problems of any kind. So we make them.
Yep.
You know, we invent dragons to slay, and sometimes those dragons are our friends, and
Mhm.
it's not. It's an ugly thing. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do my best not to go after
Feed
anybody in
it.
particular.
Don't feed the monster.
You know, there are some people who I will absolutely say shit about, you know, but I'm pretty sure that Klaus Schwab's YouTube channel isn't going to fucking make a response video. So
Yeah. Likely no. Yeah.
you know, and even if he does, like, well,
So
I'll be a household name immediately after that.
right,
So
like,
fucking do it, man.
there are people that hate you, Klaus,
Yeah.
that will
So
now love Sam. So
right,
thanks.
and it's I don't know. I think that I'm not even sure where I'm going with this. I'm sick of the infighting among people that had not previously had reason to do so.
Yeah.
You know, over stupid shit. You know, over a couple of people on the other side who were just like, oh, hey, let's stir some shit with these guys and see how far we can push it.
One
You know?
that admittedly just said that they were out to destroy because of differing opinions, essentially. I don't like the art. I don't think you gave enough money. So leave it the fuck alone. Carry on with your life. This is retarded.
Right. Like you have a copy of Isom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you read it. I'm assuming you read it.
Yes, I've read both of them. I'm debating on making a reaction type video to it.
Okay, well, if you'd rather not, then I was just going to ask what your overall thoughts on it were.
So to preface this is the first comic book I've ever purchased and read. Because so growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. And so I didn't ask for a lot of things. So I didn't really get into things. And by the time that I had my own money, I was more into manga. So I have a lot of manga that I purchased. So comparing it, like doing an actual comic book type of review, I wouldn't even know where to start. But just with my opinion, I enjoy the art. There are some pages where or panels that might have been confusing. To me, I would just have to look at it harder, but I'm perfectly fine with that as long as it fits within the story. And I enjoyed the story. I don't need to know his origins. I actually prefer to not have that immediately. I don't need just a through Z story. So I don't need his very beginning. I enjoy origin stories by themselves. But there were some grammatical errors in both books that I took note of, but I'm also a grammar Yahtzee and know that about myself. So I try not to judge things too harshly when it comes to that. But at the same time, it's also something that should have been caught
by the editor and
by Eric himself. And he's admitted to things like that as well, to the second book actually had more than the first book issues, like with the spelling of one of the new characters that was introduced in the second book. Multiple times I was like, what is this person's name? Is it Goodying? Is it Gooding? How? Because of the way it was spelled. So it was a little confusing. I enjoyed in the second one, you get more information on his past. It's still not an origin story, and I don't necessarily need to know what it is. I actually don't like being treated like I'm stupid. I want to be able to maybe guess what his powers are. I don't need to know the exact abilities, as long as it makes sense in the fights that he's in to a certain extent, especially when you're being introduced to something that's a superpower type world. I don't, to compare it to an anime, My Hero Academia, there's a lot of powers out there where you don't necessarily know everybody's abilities, and you're not just going to know them off the bat. They're going to change periodically. And I like being able to guess what they are and then find out later. So I prefer that type of, I enjoy the writing. It's cohesive. You can understand it. It doesn't, the length of it, I prefer. There's actually someone whose comic book I purchased recently where it's way too short. There wasn't enough for me to get invested if I wasn't friends with them in the next book, because it was too short and not enough information for me to want to get to know the characters more. So I prefer the longer format. Yeah, those are my not planned out, like written out thoughts on it.
No, fair enough.
So,
Yeah, I was merely curious. I have not read them. I have not purchased them. I am not in the market for new comic books. I
yeah,
do wish Eric July all the success in the world, and I hope that his train keeps coming in on this. I'm very cool that they hired on Chuck Dixon, of all people, who's one of the greatest
I'm so
comics
excited for
writers
Alpha
in history.
Yeah,
Yeah, he wrote some of the very best Batman stories ever put to pen. Good author. I'm excited for all that stuff. I'm at a point in my life where I'm just not getting new comics.
yeah,
And not all of that is because the mainstream went batshit and started putting out garbage, which had something to do with it. But just at this point in my life, I'm just not really that into comics anymore. So I'm not buying new ones. I might occasionally read some of the old ones that I have around,
yeah.
but so it wasn't for me, it wasn't because Eric was a new creator or unproven or anything like that, like I'm hearing from some people, and I mean, yeah, he's new at it, of course he is. Everybody's got to
Right.
start somewhere.
Who says
So
you need to be proven? Like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
right, but that is one of the arguments that was going around. But that's the
Yes.
same thing they say about people going into public office too. Is like, oh,
Right.
what's their experience? So I was like, maybe it's time for some inexperienced
Fresh
motherfuckers who are
face.
hungry for it. But whatever.
Instead of
Um,
a skeleton that's been there forever.
so yeah, so I probably won't be dipping into that. I'm more into visual mediums or actual paper books.
Yeah.
Like prose books, not graphic art, kind of thing. And it isn't that I have anything against that. That's not what I'm into at the moment. So I'm probably going to skip this
Oh, I
altogether.
absolutely understand that, because that's how I was when I was younger. I loved the adaptations, like the animated shows for the Amazing Spider-Man, Batman, the animated series, Superman, like all of those. I loved those growing up. I loved watching those. And then I was an avid book reader, like novels, when
Right.
I was younger. And that's where my interests lie. But it was past tense, whatever. Yeah. But at that time, and now I don't have as much time to sit down and read novels. So that's, I sat down for a very short time and just went through.
I'll tell you what, and Eric, if you're out there listening, if you guys put out like an audio book version of it, I'm all for it.
But it's,
I'll buy it and I'll listen to it.
yeah.
Because I gotta, I'm in the same kind of boat there. Is like I don't have as much time to like sit down and read as I would like to.
Yeah.
But I can listen. You know,
Like
'cause
I'm
none of
listening to the
yeah.
Terminalist books that way.
Yeah,
Because
because
it's
none of
easier.
the things that I do at work require that I can't like, I can have something playing in my ear the whole time.
Yeah.
Like my job is I'm very independent. I don't have a lot in the way of meetings or, things where I have to actually be paying attention to another physical human being.
Yeah.
So outside of like safety deals,
Right.
which, but yeah, so I can do that. I can listen to stuff. So yeah, if Rippaverse decides they want to do like audiobooks, I'm all for that. I will jump on that hard, the second it comes out. But for right now, the visual medium thing, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just
feel
not
like,
interested.
I mean, for the story, I guess it would work. It's just in conjunction with the art is how, like, for comic book medium, having an audio,
Yeah.
like you're missing out on certain things if you don't have the art with it, like the images with it. I'm just thinking of certain parts of the story.
Beelzebub's in chat. What happened to everyone else? I
It's
don't know,
just me
man.
and Sam today. We wanted to hang out.
Sometimes it just goes that way. Tell you what, if you're free, I'll throw you the link. If you're interested, but otherwise you can sit there and you can seethe and chat while we talk mad shit about you. I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. The talking shit part, I might throw you a link if you want one. But yeah.
It said send it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Give me just a moment, and I will send it your way, Double. For those of you who don't know, Devil Made Me Do It. Great dude, great channel. Make some fun memes. A lot of fun to hang out with. He has been on the channel once before. So yeah. Well, I mean, he's on it every week with the Star Trek, but yeah. So all right, check your DMs, buddy.
Oh, I saw this earlier. Yes, I've seen RRR, and I saw it like last weekend, and I freaking love that movie. Super Suka said it in the chat. Yeah, I freaking love the hell out of that movie.
So
sorry.
Super Suka has a name that he spells it that way because he gets censored by YouTube if he spells it with the Cyrillic, because it's the Russian word for little bitch.
Ah, I see. Okay.
I mean, there's contextual differences in like what it means and how it's used and all that stuff, but yeah, generally it just means
all right then.
Slut bitch. And he's super. Thanks for asking. Hey, Devil.
Hey, what's up?
Hello. Long time no chat.
Yeah, you guys from like what, 3 hours ago? 4?
Yeah, it feels like that, doesn't it? Friggin' I woke up I think it was around noon my time, and I'm like, shit, I should probably get up and set up this afternoon stream. I really want to continue napping.
My internal clock woke me up at 7:30, so yeah. I'm a morning person internally.
This is my third stream. I had Mephisto's movies and then the meme stream, and so yeah, I was got done making dinner, and I was all, I'm gonna check what's on YouTube, and I was all, oh crap, that's right, and here you guys are all lonely.
Yeah, don't you have another stream to get to tonight too?
Yes, Skinamax.
I don't know if that is happening unless they've created a link. Let me see. Let me see. You guys vamp. I don't know. Look at something.
Oh, vamp. Oh, vamp on my own show here. Yeah.
Well, you were being silent, so.
And I was waiting for you to finish the sentence.
And me and Dermy also might watch Dr. No tonight. I don't know if he's gonna still be up for that, but
He's probably hungover still.
yeah,
That's
he
right.
didn't
You
show
guys
up to
were
the meme
going
stream.
through all the. You guys were going through all the James Bond movies, right?
Yep, he's seen one with Pierce Brosnan, and he's seen the Daniel Craig ones. I was all, you haven't seen James Bond. You haven't seen it. It's not James Bond. So yeah, I'm gonna show him Sean Connery. But yeah, so hopefully we'll start tonight because it's been getting put off, and so I'm trying to pin him down so we can finally just do it. But yeah.
You know, you're going to have to get in on the Sylvester Stallone movies immediately after you're done with James Bond, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're the Rockies.
He hasn't seen shit.
No, he hasn't.
You know, I'm gonna put this out there for those of you who are younger. Yes, things came out before the year 2000.
Yeah, things existed before then. Shockingly,
Lots of stuff. The vast majority of it, in fact,
amazing
happened before that.
things.
So, GoldenEye was your first Bond movie, really? Huh?
Green was. What was yours?
My first Bond movie.
Yeah.
My first and only. I don't like the Bond movies. Was the very first one. Don't hate
Dr.
me.
No? You didn't like Dr. No?
I think it was the first one.
I thought the first one was the original Casino Royale.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of, I don't know, because it was supposed to be more of a satirical look at it. So it's based off the books, it's based off the character, but it was satirical. So I don't really consider it. The first actual James Bond movie to me is Dr. No. And it's not the best of the Sean Connery ones because he hasn't really hit his stride. It gets better with From Russia with Love, and then Goldfinger is freaking awesome.
So it was a while ago when I watched it. Does it have Pussy Galore in it? Was that her name?
No, that's Goldfinger.
That's Gold. I didn't like that one. I didn't like.
You didn't like Goldfinger? Oh God.
And that's the only one that I watched.
What about
It was a long time ago. I'm willing to rewatch, but not motivated.
Well, you can join me and Dermy on D&D. Check it out.
Yeah, you know what I don't quite understand is why the obsession with gold in those movies, right? You got Goldfinger, the man with the golden gun, GoldenEye.
You see that a lot in a lot of them. There's like crossover between them, like Die Another Day. There's different words that he uses a lot in the names, but yeah, gold does come up more than once. Probably because at the time that was considered, now we have platinum, all that stuff, but gold was, everyone wore gold back then.
Yeah.
Now it's old lady jewelry.
Yeah. But I was never, as really into the Bond movies. I've seen a few of them, and I'll watch them if they're on. But they weren't ever my like go-to IP.
Yeah.
So generally, when I think of James Bond, I think of Choppers Only, No Odd Job.
Chopper. Oh, because the game.
Yeah, yeah. The GoldenEye game. Yeah, those are the rules. Slappers only. Sorry, slappers only. No Odd Job.
I have a good story for GoldenEye. Me and my friends, we rented it, and we decided we're gonna rent it right after school if they had a copy, and we're gonna play it from then all the way till Sunday night late, and then sleep, and then go to school type thing. So we got it, and we're sitting there playing, and they kept killing me. They were teaming up, and I was getting pissed. And his one of them was playing his Odd Job, and you couldn't hit the little son of a bitch, and it was really pissing me off. And so they're laughing, they're having a grand old time. So I'm all like, "Fuck you, motherfuckers!" So I respawn in, I kill both them, then set up some mines on a wall and blow myself up, and I wouldn't respawn in. And so they got all pissed because they couldn't get the revenge type thing. And so they started, doing the thing where you're all like, dude, you're such a pussy. You're such a pussy. So I'm all, okay. So I finally respawn back in. I go around, kill him again. Then they respawn in real quickly, kill him again, and then blew myself up and did the same thing. And god damn, they got so pissed they quit.
Yeah. You know what? I used to hang out in dark corners, like in the temple area. I would hang out in dark corners and wait for other players to pass by, and then just like slap their face with a proximity mine,
Oh man.
so that even if they killed me, I still got a kill out of that.
Yeah, you play as Odd Job and you go into like the darkest corner you can find, and you just keep switching from corner to corner, and so people turn the corner to get you, and you get the first shot because they have to figure out which corner you're in. That is a tricky ass fucking cheat.
Yeah, and then they got to figure out that you're like 3 feet shorter than everybody else, and
Yep.
and the sight lines are off.
Yeah, the sight line goes for the head, and your head isn't there.
Yeah, there was a similar problem in Tekken 3, which is a fighting game, with a character
It
named Gon,
is.
who is I'm we're not the only ones here, right? There's a whole lot.
I know. As soon as I said it, he's gonna say it's for the chat too.
Shut up. Anyway, so there's a character named Gon who's a tiny dinosaur with boxing gloves, and he is half the size of everybody else. Nearly every strike you throw at him is gonna fucking miss completely because his head's lower.
Yep.
Down
The
to
high
ground
kicks
and
went
everything
right
else.
over him.
Such a pain in the fucking ass, that guy.
Punches would connect every once in a while, but when he punched, the thing that made it even worse was when he punched, he would dunk down a little bit. And so if you swung at the same time, it didn't matter if you were a little bit quicker, it wouldn't connect because his head would be too low at that point. And then the high kicks missed completely.
Hating on short people. Y'all are mean.
Yeah. If me and Green ever fight, I'm not gonna do high kicks. I'm gonna have to
I had that
sweep the
same
legs.
problem with
Sweep the
I
legs.
had that same problem, I think, in Soul Calibur 4 when they put Yoda in
They put Yoda in.
as a fighter, as a fighter
DLC.
character. Yeah. But he's tiny. Almost everything that you throw at him is going to go right over his head.
Which one was Soul Calibur? Is that the one that was Soul Edge on PlayStation?
Soul Edge 2, and then Soul Calibur from then on. Yeah.
Okay. Like Princess Sophatia, she was mentioned. I loved her.
Sophatia.
I want to cosplay her.
You should
Shocking.
really
She's half naked.
look
I
into
wanna
her
cosplay
story
her.
because it's fucking dark.
Ain't gonna get an argument from me.
Yeah.
I'll buy the half a piece of fabric for you. 1/8 a yard.
She has different outfits. They're not much different, but
We got to get you booby armor. But I played it way back, like the very first one, back when it was, came out the same time as Tekken, like the first Tekken and shit. I think it came out just like a couple years after that. And I loved that game.
did you play Bloody Roar?
Yes.
Bloody Roar.
That game is crazy. That one and Primal Rage. Did you guys ever play Primal Rage?
That one.
You play basically giant dinosaur gods, and there's little humans and shit running around, and you can eat them to regain health.
They could have done so much more with that game, and it's a game they could bring back. They just have to add more characters and more kind of differences to them, because a lot of them were just like reskins of another character. Like you had the one that looked like Bigfoot. It was a big red gorilla, and then you had the ice gorilla, and you had this dinosaur, and you had that dinosaur. So yeah, they could have had a lot more, but the way it looked awesome.
It was all stop motion, all claymation, and it was done, but it was done really, really, really well. I mean, it looked very, very 3D, very realistic at the time. And so you're talking 16-bit graphics on the Genesis, I'd love to see them like remaster that, or maybe update it and bring some new characters in, new character designs, maybe that and Killer Instinct, maybe.
Oh yeah, because you could still do the claymation, just use like AI to create it, so it's more fluid, but still have the same look of the characters, same feel to them, and but do a lot more elaborate kind of fighting, and yeah, I think they could do a lot with it. I'm sure one of them owns the rights to it. One of the companies, they just haven't done anything with it.
I don't know. I'm curious about that now. I'm gonna have to look it up. Primal Rage. Let's see. Yeah, it was an arcade game.
Oh, that's why I didn't play it.
God, that was a fun game.
Yeah, she's looking at us like boomers.
No.
Oh, that might explain why.
I'm just thinking, oh, so you were rich when you were younger. Got it.
No.
Yeah, those
No, this-
quarters, those expensive quarters.
Yeah, no. This was I had a cartridge of it, and I begged my dad for a year to buy it for me. Kind of thing. No, we weren't rich. My dad was also one of those guys though who liked having like the next new cutting edge thing, and so he would find a way. Like we had laser discs when they were brand new on the market, and that sort of thing. The original 8-bit Nintendo system was brand new, and he had to rush out and make sure that we had one in the house and all that. Even if we, dinner was a little light that week. Kind of thing. When CDs came out, the first thing my dad did is he came home, he bought one. It didn't even matter what it was. It really doesn't, because it doesn't last long. So he takes it and he's like, look at this new technology. Opens up the jewel case, takes a CD out, see all this is, and he's like, and it's really durable too. And he flings it across the room like a frisbee, and of course it shatters when it hits the wall.
Oh.
Yep.
As it turns out, they were not as tough as he thought they were.
My copy of I think it was Soul Calibur 2. I broke it. It fell off the mantle. After I took it out of the machine, I put it on the side. It fell. I'm all, it's not a big deal. I'll pick it up in a second. And then a VHS tape fell off right after and landed on it and took a chip out of it. I was all, you son of a.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. That sucks.
Now I just want to go through all my old games over in the corner while we're talking about them.
Looks like the developers for Primal Rage were Midway and Acclaim. So yeah, I don't see any reason why they couldn't.
Are they still around?
Well, Midway is NetherRealm Studios is what Midway became.
Oh, okay. So yeah, then they probably own the rights to it still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they could get on that, remake it, mans.
Right. 1994. Fuck, man.
I know.
It's like it might not, you just glancing at the numbers, 1994. It doesn't seem that long ago until you realize that we're about to hit 2024, and that was 30 fucking years ago.
Oh, jeez, man.
You're old.
Yeah. We're old.
Yeah.
We're old men. We're gonna be eating our freaking rice pudding and talking about the weather here soon. And you can
talk about the weather all the time, man.
You can change our old people diapers.
I'm good.
Yeah, ask my chat. When we do our Friday shows, half the time Larry and I'll spend 10 minutes just talking about the weather because we're fucking old.
It just happens. You don't even notice it till you notice it. You're all like, "Holy crap! I talk about the weather a lot. When did that happen?"
How you know you're really old is not only do you talk about the weather, but when you bring up bowel movements, you're no longer laughing because it's a matter of health.
Yeah, you start talking about like my
consistency.
My toe has been hurting, and yeah, they're all like, I asked you what was the game score, not how your toe felt, dude. Oh, sorry, of course I have it.
Just like, I had a movement and it just didn't look right. It looked like there was a little bit of red threaded through there, and I mean, I'm not digesting that corn for anything, right? You see how I'm not laughing? It's because I'm old.
You're just thinking about this morning.
And there goes the viewership.
Hi, chat.
Oh,
yeah,
you'll get there. You'll get there, Green. Give it another 10 years.
I'm good.
What, you planning on outing before then?
I don't need that shit in my life. Or that. Yeah.
Yeah. Boosh says Shadow has never used a 3x5 floppy. I'd wager that Shadow has never seen a 3x5 floppy. Those things were
You mean a
obsolete before
save
he was
button
born. Yeah.
to him?
Remember when PlayStations you had to have the little game memory card for 'em?
Yeah.
I had a Rolodex full of these fucking floppy disks.
Fucking memory cards. The like PlayStation 2 ones, and then the PlayStation 1 you could use in the PlayStation 2, or yeah. Yep. But some of the games you couldn't.
My
It
first
says,
game was what? Oh,
I used
VHS.
VHS. Man, I still have like 300 VHS tapes because I have a working 4-head VCR. There's no reason to get rid
I
of
have
them.
one
They
over
still
there.
work.
Yeah, I had to get rid of mine because I had 2 VCRs, but yeah, once they broke, I was like, shit. And some of the movies that were on them you can't find, so it really sucks. I wish they had a way to transfer this stuff over.
The
My
VHSs
father-in-law
I
repairs
currently
them, so-
have. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, my father-in-law repairs VCRs and tube televisions for a living. He did that for a long time, so
Nice.
I have the hookup.
Get that vintage stuff now.
What VHSs do you have, Green? You said you had some?
Oh, so the ones that I have, well, actually, there's like the first Dragon Ball Z movie, I think. But they're recorded from the TV type VHSs. Like,
Yeah.
Good.
My first copy of Goonies was that.
I think the ones I have are like Sleepless in Seattle,
Of course you do.
Braveheart. I'm actually, my dad and my brother like that movie more than I do. Thank you very much.
I call
but you
fibs.
have it.
It's a good movie. But what other?
I
another
disagree.
Dragonheart.
Dragonheart's not terrible.
Dragonheart is amazing. I love that movie.
The first one is pretty good. Yeah.
The only
after that-
one. There are none.
There's like 17, but
No.
yeah. It's like The
No.
Land Before Time, but with dragons.
Oh, I used to watch that show hell of times as a kid.
Oh God.
You know, they just kept making them. They didn't.
Yeah.
They
nobody
didn't
told
know
them
what
to
stop meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, I just thought we were supposed to make them every year. What?
Land Before Time 475. They're still alive somehow, even though it's
Here come the mammals.
yeah. When they got up to where there's cavemen running around, you're like, yeah, maybe, maybe we should have.
I still have the first VHS tape that was ever mine. That was ever really mine, not my parents, but mine. It was an impulse buy at a place called Pomida in Nebraska, which is a defunct department store chain. It was Creature from the Black Lagoon with Julie Adams. And it was, just the old black and white movie, just on VHS, had just been, released or whatever. And, I asked my dad to get it. He got it and he gave it to me. 1987. Works like the day I bought it to this day.
Jeez.
You are old.
Yes. I keep saying that.
Yeah.
But my other point is like, take care of your physical media and it'll stick around.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then you don't got to worry about remasters and remakes and digital copies and people changing stuff because they don't like it was problematic or they want to put this ad in there or whatever. You don't have that problem with old school physical media if you take care of it. And VCRs are relatively simple technology. They're not that difficult to repair. The parts are harder to find, but you can fabricate most of them. So, it's a good idea to keep physical media on hand, whatever else is happening, which is why I still have all of those VHS tapes. I'm pretty sure I've got a couple of Betamax tapes around somewhere too, but I don't have a player for them.
Yeah. Like I wanted to get when I was a kid, every kid has a scary movie that's the movie that for some reason put the fear of God into them. And mine, because I'm like partially retarded, is a movie from Disney called Mr. Boogedy. And
I don't know that one.
It's very, very little known. They did a sequel called The Bride of Boogedy, and they were this corny dude in fucking this crappy booger makeup and the family moves into a house, and it turns out that this house is it's one of those towns that's back from like Mayflower times, and he was a bad man in town, and he hated the children, but he fell in love with this girl, so he like forced her into marrying him because she was all alone raising her son. And then somehow they die, and he makes a deal with the devil to hold their spirits in his house.
This is a Disney movie, you said?
Yeah. And he calls himself Boogity, and he has this cloak, and it gives him these powers, and he shoots electricity out of his hands, kind of like a Palpatine. He's a little Palpatine-ish, just even uglier.
All right.
And when I was a kid, it scared the shit out of me. Like, literally, I was all, holy crap, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. Now it's like, I'm like, what the fuck was I? I was a pussy. So I wanted to get him because I was all like, you get what you remember as a child. So I fucking finally found it on DVD, and it's like a ripped copy, but otherwise you can't find it. It was like only on VHS. They might have, finally made them into DVDs, but the only one I could find was from a ripped copy. And yeah, so just a lot of movies like that, they didn't carry over, And so if you don't find them from somebody bootlegging them, you just can't get them on physical media no more.
No,
I'm still trying to figure out what movie scared me enough to put the fear of God in me, and I really can't think of one. I never really got scared at movies.
There are a few that scared me in the moment, but I was also pretty good. The things that scare me now are not the same things that scared me as a child.
Right.
So I'm the only pussy on the panel. That's great. Thank you. Make me feel like a pussy.
I mean, look at him, and then me. Come on.
I mean, you may be the devil, but I am the thing that goes bump in the night.
You kind of remind me of Mr. Boogity.
A little bit.
Jurassic Park is like the first movie I went to see in theaters. It did not scare me. I loved it from moment one. So, Zillage. I apologize.
He's not particular about the pronunciation, though. But,
okay.
But yeah, we usually call him Zillage because it's Zillage, Zillage, Zillege, Zyleg. I don't know. I could probably pronounce that about 8 different ways, and then I'm gonna run out of ways to do it. So I'm gonna stop now.
Okay, I'm gonna share a picture so you guys can see how scary this was for a child. Here we go.
Sharptooth was scary as fuck.
What was?
From Land Before Time. Sharptooth, the one that eats Littlefoot's mom.
That's Mr. Boogity.
I haven't. This scared you?
Yes, when I was a kid, that fucking monster. It freaked me the fuck out because he boogity boogity boo, and it was all fuck you, man.
I think because he's
boogity boogity boo.
Yeah, and I was like, I'd be underneath the couch.
I think because he's green, he wouldn't have scared me because that's been my favorite color since I was little.
He goes green. That's part of it.
Boo boo.
This is what was less funny. Yes, that was
Was it played by Diane Feinstein? Just said in the chat.
Yes, it was. She was that scary.
But like maybe the Crypt Keeper might have. I don't think. I thought he was cool. He didn't scare me.
Yeah, there was stuff that creeped me out, but like being creeped out was different than being scared for me.
Yeah, it could just be that I'm not remembering that I was scared too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm having a hard time thinking of it too because the very first film I ever saw is still my favorite to this day. I was 3 years old and my parents showed me Jaws. Favorite movie of all time. They did the same with my sister when she turned 3 because they figured if I handled it so well, so would she. As it turns out, she has a lifelong fear of sharks. So different stuff affects different people.
Maybe birds, but that was more just because why are the birds so crazy? No, yeah.
I love Jaws. I love all except for the last one. The last one was like, oh god, talk about. But
I'm OG Jaws fan.
I'm afraid of the ocean too. I won't go in the ocean. I won't. Nope. They're just waiting for me. They just look at me like a fucking hungry man meal, man. Hell no.
So you've never been in like a glass bottom boat ride?
Nope. No
where you
desire.
can look straight down.
Nope. If I get above my ankles, I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm out.
How are you with heights?
What?
How are you with heights?
Oh, I'm a coward about heights too. Yeah. I'll admit it. There's a lot of shit out there that freaks me the fuck out.
I love all of those things. I want to skydive, bungee jump. I've been ziplining through Costa Rica. Like I want to walk on those bridges that are just glass through like
you mean death traps? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
No, I'm the sharks and heights are probably the two. Not too much other, but yeah, I do get vertigo real bad, and so I don't like heights, and yeah, I'm scared of the ocean. Like it's not even just sharks; it's the openness of it. There's a term for it, but yeah, because you can't see what's below you, you can't see what's coming around you. You're in a position where you're like the least mobile thing around there, and yeah, that gets in my head. So yeah, I don't do oceans.
Well, and it is a good significant portion of our planet that we don't basically know nothing about. So I can understand it. I'm just not afraid of it. I enjoy it.
I have a
like
bit of a
adrenaline.
fascination with it, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, I do like kind of a Lovecraftian theme with stuff. I'm a big fan of what he wrote and the things that he inspired and all that. And a lot of that stems from his abject fear of the unknown, specifically the unknown under the waves. Also space, but you know, dude lived in a port town. So
yeah,
you know, but so yeah, I have a fascination with it, and there's a certain amount of dread that comes from you know, knowing that there's a vast gulf of space between you and the bottom and you can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's something to that, and that, like, who knows what could be in there, you know, with me. So I get that, but it doesn't stop me from getting in.
Yeah.
So
yep, you guys can go in swimming. I'll be the one like with all the old ladies sitting there on the towel on the beach going, hey
shark,
guys,
shark.
Don't go out too deep. You guys just ate.
I am a fish out of water though. I really enjoy being in the water versus being on land. So
Gal loves being wet. Y'all heard it here first.
Yep. I'm not gonna say no to that. Thanks very much. Oh, sorry. Are we not on Beelzebub?
No,
forgot which stream it was.
It's fine. It's fine. We've gone like
there's
2
a type
hours
of
without
screaming
making too many dirty
into the
jokes.
void.
So yeah,
we're due a couple dozen.
Oh God.
Yeah, like your chat's all like sitting there go, oh God, I'm gonna have to go pray after this. Oh,
you know, most of my chat will say things that are even worse than I will, and there are a few of them who get horrified every time they come here. So, you know, there are some of them. Luke Casley, for instance, is a wonderful, wonderful woman, and we managed to scar her soul every time she comes here, not on purpose. It's not like we're trying to do it, but just, you know, she's a nice lady.
Yeah.
You know?
And we are in the realm that we're in. It's pretty much
I mean, that's a weird question, but honestly, Gal hasn't come up in conversation.
I probably haven't been on enough yet.
Yeah, and she's caught some of Devil on the Star Trek show. What little of it she can stand, and no, she likes Devil.
Gal and the Devil sounds like a shitty reboot of Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, or the Ghost and Mrs. Muir. That's right, bitches. I am old.
Oh Lord.
I'd be amazed. Like Shadow of obviously wouldn't have any idea what I was talking about when I said the Ghost of Mrs. Muir, but I'd be interested to know how many of the rest of you in chat would catch that, would know where that comes from. Yeah, old Disney movie.
Yep.
About a ghost and a woman named Mrs. Muir, a widow, in a lighthouse. I think it's been a long time since I watched it, but yeah, aesthetic.
Yeah, I remember the name, but I don't know if I ever watched it. I do know of it though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not Muir, Muir, M-U-I-R. It's Irish.
They did a lot of Irish movies in those old Disney movies. You had what's his name in the Little People, the one that was Sean Connery was in.
It was fuck. Now I can't remember the name. It's
I got nothing.
English and Irish, a lot of them.
Something gay like Flaherty.
Something in the Little People. I'm gonna have to look that up. Shit now, but yeah, you had 9 Lives of Thumbelina. That was an English one. You had the Swiss Family Robinson. They were English, I believe, in it.
Darby O'Gill.
Darby O'Gill. There you go. And yeah, a lot of English and Irish Disney movies. I wonder if they just had a studio there and they were the ones who were doing all those movies, and that's why they were all English. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a pretty good movie called High Spirits, a comedy about an Irish castle owned by an Englishman who is trying to save it with tourism by making all of his staff pretend to be ghosts.
Oh, I think I remember that one too.
Yeah,
I remember the Canterville Ghost. I remember that one. I don't know if it was made by Disney or if it was just shown on Disney, but I remember that one.
I think I have that
They
on
used to
DVD.
do a lot of supernatural shit on there on Disney too. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, a lot of dead people wandering around talking like they're still living. Disney is a strange company and always has been.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
No,
Yeah.
It's. I mean, most of this stuff like that we're talking about now was either came out before even Devil and I were born, or was at least in reruns by then.
Yeah.
You know?
And you saw it when like Disney would give you that 1 week every 6 months where they like gave you it for free to try to incentivize you to get it. And so you get the Disney Channel, you'd put it on, and yeah, they would have all these old movies like, and so yeah, that's when you watched them.
Honestly, I wasn't aware that they had the talkies before you were born.
I'm gonna say
Ow.
go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you gotta hurt my feelings like that.
Good talkies.
Just trying to
Christ.
hurt my feelings.
They had talkies full 50 years before I was born, a full half century. Thank you very much.
I find myself hilarious. I couldn't help it.
You guys should go and like watch older stuff though. Some of it was really great. One of Alfred Hitchcock's earliest films that was not silent, because he started out doing silent films actually, but later on when he started doing talkies, as they said, one of the earlier ones was a really great little spy thriller called The Lady Vanishes. You know, about a train ride and an old woman who disappears, and the young woman who is sitting next to her who freaks out about it and sets out to solve the mystery. It's very good.
I've seen I haven't seen too much Hitchcock. I
like Hitchcock.
Yeah, he's got good stuff. I just haven't seen that much of it.
Birds is really the only one that I remember.
You haven't seen Psycho?
You haven't seen Psycho?
I said remember. I believe I have seen Psycho, but I don't remember it.
Psycho?
Because I was really little.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
that back in those days, dude wearing a dress was something freaky and shit, and now we have a ton of psychos.
Yeah, they yeah,
How far
that's
we've
true.
fallen.
Of course, in his case, he literally had a broken mind, but he like they
Can't
make a
say
big
that
deal about
anymore.
how messed up he is because his dead mother's personality takes him over.
Yeah. Now, if you called him crazy, they'd be like, "You're denying his existence."
Yeah, he
Not
just
psycho.
killed 3 people. Well, that's just how he feels. He's expressing his emotions.
He's living his true self.
See, I remember American Psycho, but that's because I only watched it recently. So.
Yeah, no, I'd say go back and rewatch Psycho, especially for I mean, everybody in it's pretty good, but Norman Bates' performance alone is so good that he ended up getting fucking typecast for the rest of his career, which is
Oh yeah,
unfortunate because he's a
ruined his
fantastic
career.
actor.
Yeah, because
But
no
that's-
one would
that
hire him
happens.
after that because they were all like, "Oh no, they'll see him as Norman Bates," and so yeah, his acting career just got tanked after that.
Mhm. Yeah, which is a shame because it is a fine performance. It's fantastic. Now, where's that question, Zillage? Has Blood and Honey ever come out? Yeah, it came and it went, and they greenlighted the sequel for some fucking reason.
What is that?
So the A.A. Milne Winnie the Pooh properties, the 100 Acre Woods, Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, Owl, all those guys, all of that went into the public domain late last year.
Oh.
And so you still can't use, obviously, the Disney versions of those properties for anything you want, but you can use those properties for pretty much anything you want. And a small studio made a horror film called Blood and Honey, and
Okay.
it sucks.
Was that
terrible.
I think, did the full Aussie talk about it this morning? Like there was a school teacher that showed it to like 4th graders or something. Like is it a live action Winnie the Pooh or something?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
I don't know. Is he in a costume or is it really Winnie the Pooh killing him?
it's a little ambiguous, actually, but I think it's a dude in a costume who is basically just some creep who hangs out in the fucking woods pretending to be this dude's childhood, like, imaginary friend.
Weird.
It then kills a bunch of people with a hammer.
Oh, good lord.
Piglet's there too.
Okay, now I need to look it up. Blood
Yeah.
and Honey.
It was one of those movies that was so bad that I actually blocked most of it out, not because I was particularly disturbed, but it's just like I couldn't believe I wasted my fucking time.
So like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was this morning on the full Aussie. They were talking about this. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So
Because I'd never heard of it before that.
Yeah. Yeah, Suka, basically Winnie the Pooh killing people, but it's not like really Winnie the Pooh. It's I don't know. It wasn't good.
Oh yeah.
That's creepy as shit.
I mean, I don't hate the idea.
Yep.
I just
Tigger's supposed to be in this next one. I think Owl is too, and Eeyore. Yeah. So I don't know about Rabbit. I didn't hear shit about Rabbit or Roo or Mrs. Kanga, but God, Tigger's gonna be fucked up.
How sick do you have to be that you're like, let's do a horror movie based off one of the most like cuddliest, sweetest little fucking kid thing, and we'll make it into a sociopathic killer?
I was excited about it. It just was really badly done.
I like me thought.
My little ponies are all like running around eating people's organs and shit. And
I'll be honest, that shit's kind of awesome.
The Fleurodons.
Oh, Rainbow Dash.
Where's my
Did you guys ever see that Robot Chicken sketch with the My Little Apocalypse ponies?
No.
There were 4 of them, and they were basically the My Little Ponies of the apocalypse. Like there's one for death, war, famine, and all that. And they were doing their jobs, but they were cute.
It's so cute. What's your name? Pestilence.
Yeah. Pestilence Sparkle.
Oh my god, like an evil Sesame Street multiverse type or alternate universe, that'd be awesome. Or like the Muppets.
I don't know. There's a lot of real darkness
Lamb
in
chops.
actual Sesame Street, so
Yeah.
Oscar the Grouch pulls you into the trash can and you disappear forever.
right.
But
Mr.
now I want like a
Snuffleupagus is imaginary, but his trunk isn't.
like, was it Lamb Chops where it was like that lady and the puppets?
Yeah,
like,
I was
puppets?
Sherry Lewis.
Song
Or no,
that
not Sherry
never
Lewis.
Yeah,
ends.
that one. Yeah.
Yes, it goes on.
That'd be a cool idea where like you're doing the regular show, like a puppet show for kids or whatever, but then somehow the puppets like take you over.
What happened to the lamb chop puppet? And yeah, it
And then it like
covers
turns
her
into
in
like a
like a
homicidal fucking hand puppet thing.
yeah.
I was
It
right.
grows
was
over
Sherry
you.
Lewis, yeah. Yeah, there was Sherry Lewis. That was Lamb Chop was cute as shit.
It
I
was
would mix. Go ahead.
I was saying out of all the puppet shows, like that they were pretty basic puppets. And I think like you could see her whenever it did show her face enough, you could see her voice moving, I think her mouth moving.
Yeah.
So she didn't even she wasn't even like a ventriloquist, I don't think.
Yeah. I think that's why I enjoyed it though. Like I knew that it was just a lady talking to her hands.
Yeah, it was. I mean, lamb chop's just a sock with stuff glued onto it.
Yeah.
Yep. Puppets that control humans. Did you guys ever watch Angel, the Buffy spinoff?
Yeah.
Do you not know me but at all?
Oh, apparently not that well. But
I love Buffy.
the specific episode in season 5 called Happy Time or whatever it was, where Angel gets turned into a puppet by the evil puppets who are sucking the souls out of kids through their TVs.
Oh, I remember that.
Watch it.
Yeah. That episode is hilarious. As it turns out, yeah, there was the puppet master, the guy who was building all this stuff. They go to talk to him and figure out what's going on. And so he's like, oh, everything's fine, everything's good, and everything's normal. And so they leave, and then the dude just slumps over, and it cuts to behind him where a puppet is pulling his hand out of the dude's back.
Oh, geez, that's creepy.
Awesome.
I remember enough of it, but it's been a while since I've watched Angel all the way through.
I need to rewatch.
Yeah, Angel's one of those spin-offs that actually worked.
I hate the end. Like they ruined Cordy for me. She had such a great redemption arc, and then they
season 4. Yeah, season 4 fucked Cordy's story completely.
Yeah.
They tried to make up for season 4 with season 5 because season 5 is fucking fantastic, pretty much the whole way through. With the exception, I have issues with the finale, but other than that, I think it's a fantastic season of television. But season 4, yeah, they really fucked Cordelia Chase over, especially after spending 3 seasons of turning her into one of the best characters on television at that time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why those last seasons just don't sit well with me.
Yeah,
she was probably like my second favorite character. Spike is always going to be my favorite character, always. Once More with Feeling is my favorite Buffy episode.
There are 2 episodes that I would put over Once More with Feeling. Number 1, because I'm not really a musical guy, but and one of them is mentioned here by Suka was the one where they had to perform basically the entire episode without saying a word of dialogue. It was fucking fantastic. And the other one was The Body from season 5.
Remind me.
Season 6. That's the one immediately after Joyce dies.
Oh God. I not recently, like a few years back, did a rewatch, but I didn't get that far, I don't think. So I don't have a recollection of that one.
Yeah, it was right after Joyce suffers an aneurysm that kills her.
Sad.
And the rest of that episode, or the following episode, was almost entirely devoted to grief. And it was
is that the episode that Mahler used in his like the comparison to Ahsoka? Mm-hmm. Was it Mahler?
I don't know if he used that. I know he's brought it up repeatedly.
Yes, like he used that and a clip from another show, and I can't remember what it was. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, because of Mahler's video. Yeah.
What was interesting about that particular episode was that there are no musical cues in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
None. There's no score. There's no soundtrack. It's just people having to deal with the reality that's in front of them, and you were forced to deal with it with them. It is masterfully done.
Yeah.
Say what you want about Joss Whedon, but he writes great characters, and he does good television.
He tends to end it terribly.
Yeah.
Because the ending of Buffy annoys me.
Yeah,
As well
I'm a
as
big
Angel,
fan of
so.
that.
I was happy with the line. Like, I know it was a throwaway line, but the line that Giles had towards the end when they're talking about, well, that's the end of the Hellmouth, and he's like, well, there's another one in Cleveland. And I'm like, I've been to Cleveland. That makes sense. Yeah, but yeah, that was, I don't know. Season 7 built up magnificently, and then the climax was I don't know. It seemed to lack the punch that was necessary.
Yeah. It should have. Was it the 5th season? Which one was Glory?
Glory was season 5. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wish it would have ended there after season 5.
Yeah. Yes and no. I think season 6 starts off rough.
Yeah.
Like they hadn't intended to go any further. Kind of the way the Supernatural season 6 did, actually, because they weren't supposed to go further than season 5.
That one definitely should have ended at season 5. God.
Arguably, it should have ended at season 4.
Well, season 5 was the like Michael and like the body snatching type of thing, right?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I thought that whole arc was fucking retarded, honestly.
The end of it was like it was a nice bow on top of it. It should have ended there.
My problem,
right? That.
But I can understand where you're coming from with season 4 as well as a good ender.
What were you saying, Devil?
My problem with Supernatural is I love the characters. I love but I think they jumped the shark. I think they went out of just because it starts off that there's the demon that killed their mother and they're hunting him and he's part of it, but they're hunting all these supernatural things. And it's like second season, it just goes straight into that. And now it's about the demons and then it goes into the devil and then it goes into angels. And it's like they went too big, too long. They should have done like 3 seasons where they're just hunting all different types of monsters.
The monster of the week.
Then start getting into the biblical stuff. And it just like they went there too quickly for me. And so by like season like 5, you're like, what else can they do? They're already dealing with God. They've already dealt with the devil.
That's why it should have ended there. And that's the problem that it has. And it's the fandom's fault. Like and the actors and showrunners' fault, because all of them were so like the fans were so dedicated to it that they were dedicated to the fans to where as long as I think it was Jensen Ackles said, as long as the fans want more, we're going to give you more. And I was just like, no, stop it. And that was at season 10 and it went for another 5 fucking seasons.
Unfortunately, the louder fans won that argument.
Yes. The simps.
Like I was with it. I got through season 6. I think season 6 was weak.
Season 6 was terrible.
Soulless Sam was fucking dumb. And then they brought in the Campbells and I'm just like, okay. No, I liked the Leviathans. That was season 7.
Those. That was season 7.
I liked those,
okay,
and I liked Dick. I think Dick was a fantastic villain.
I hated season 7 so much,
especially because of all the Dick jokes. That really actually did something for me in there. But I liked season 7. Season 7 is about where it ends for me. I mean, season 8. There are things that I really like about season 8. With the Dean in purgatory with this vampire buddy storyline was actually kind of interesting.
Yes. It had its moments.
Benny was his name. Benny was an interesting character. I wanted to see more of him. You know, he's like the whole vampire thing. I was interested in that, but they once again they get back to the this stuff, but where the show really died for me. Yes, there are things I watched later that I did enjoy, parts that I did enjoy, but the show dies when Bobby Singer dies.
Yep. And then he comes back in later seasons. Everybody dies and comes back, and it became like a running joke, which took meaning away from everything at that point. Charlie.
Everybody except the Harvells,
Yeah, right. Yes.
who were characters I would have liked to see return.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
You know,
Like it had its moments, like Crowley. I love Crowley and Castiel. Everything got ruined later on, but I am willing to sacrifice their characters and character building that happened in like season 6, 7, 8 time frame, even 9. If they would have just ended at 5.
did the dad never got to come back, right? I mean, of
No,
all the
he did.
people that kept coming back for things, did they ever got him to come back?
They did.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan didn't
Yeah.
play him anymore, but they got the young version from the past to come back several times.
I wish they got the actual dad, because you only get to see him like the last like 2 episodes of season 1 at the end, and then he dies or whatever. It's like,
I think
he has a brief scene in the finale of season 2, I think, when they actually take the yellow-eyed demon down. But
yeah. And I think he didn't return because he was doing Negan or whatever for The Walking Dead. Like,
that was part of it. He was doing that. He was doing a lot of stuff at the time. Actually, he was kind of in high demand. So
I love him, so I understand.
Yeah, it's a shame though, because they established the show with him as the
Yes.
dad, and then and he was great.
Yep.
You know.
Yes.
And he would have been so good if they could have brought him in more, because he was supposed to be this badass hunter that taught Dean everything he knows. If Dean's that badass, his dad would be that badass. And
Absolutely.
Yeah, so to not get to see him ever do his thing kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, and then he did this whole thing where it's like, oh, well, your dad, he learned some stuff, but he wasn't really a hunter. Your mom was a hunter from a family of hunters, and here we're going to bring all of them from the past back to life too. And
Yep.
and you can see how it's like the mom wouldn't have found some way to fucking get around all the events that surrounded Sam's birth.
Right. Like she wouldn't have
bullshit. Yeah.
been reading forever trying to figure out a loophole or
So I don't know. I just there were things, and there were characters that I would and ideas, like they kind of dropped the whole psychic kid thing after season 2, for example, right? It doesn't really come up again. I think maybe once in a while they run into something similar, but they don't reference that earlier stuff. Catherine Isabel's character, for example, I forget the name of the character, but she was the dental assistant or whatever, claims adjuster or some shit like that. But she was from Iowa, and she was like getting married, and I can't believe all this stuff is happening. And just this really sweet girl who was really pissed that she got drawn into all this thing. And then she takes this turn where she had been involved even before Sam, and she had played him like a fucking fiddle. Right. Obviously, she got killed and all that stuff. But given how they brought everybody else fucking back.
Yeah. It was a good show, though. I did watch it. I think I might have skipped the last 2 seasons, but I did watch most of it.
I definitely stopped it. I'm pretty sure it was 10 whenever they killed Charlie. Yeah, I saw this earlier.
I can't remember the name of the character's last name. There was a character named Dick in season 7 who was the leader of the Leviathans and the head of a corporation, and everybody called him Dick and a Dick, and there were dick jokes all over that fucking season. And he was a great character and a good villain. And I did like the fact that they would punish their own kind by making them devour themselves. I mean, that's super fucked up, but it was interesting.
It was probably the weakest story for me, not counting the final seasons after. But yeah,
I was gonna say, season 9 with the Dean's got the Mark of Cain shit, and Crowley's a junkie for like human feelings.
See, I enjoyed that because Crowley was such an ass, so it was hilarious to me. But that's why it was funny to me.
It was gay, and I don't mean that in a homosexual way. I mean that in a mid-90s fucking retarded way. it never really gets better with Crowley, and then they wrote him out of the show.
Right. Right.
Which sucks because I did like Crowley.
Yeah, Mark Shepard was one of the only reasons to keep watching.
Absolutely.
At that point, and then you get to all the stuff involving Chuck and the darkness and all that crap, and everything just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Devil, like you said, because they had to keep. It's almost like the show suffers from anime power creep.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know what that
Like,
means.
He's over 9,000. Like they keep having to up the power levels to keep you engaged.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, they get to a point where nothing's a challenge, so they got to introduce something that's even more bigger and badass. But where the fuck was it 13 seasons ago?
So the Dragon Ball Z problem that I hate.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like,
And that's basically what they did with the show, and it just gets to a point where it's nearly unwatchable. And of course, that final season was that final episode was a cop out. I feel. I think
like the entire everything final episode.
Yeah.
See, and I didn't watch. So
yeah, it was. They hit you they pulled kind of a Disney where they hit all of the feels at all of the right moments. But if you go back and you watch it objectively, it's just like, Jesus Christ, did they really write this?
Like it was just member-berry key jangling that made no sense.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. So no, it was not good. Not my favorite. But yeah. So, guys, we have been at this for about 2.5 hours. We'll probably bring it to a close. I know that everybody here has potentially other upcoming live streams to get to.
Yeah, Devil, I don't think it's happening, but yeah.
Yeah, he put it off. He put it off on Jesse, but Dermy said he might not be able to make it anyway. So
yeah,
who knows?
Fair enough. But I have one that I have to go to on Linus Exile tonight at 9:30 my time. So let's see, what time is it now? Yeah, in about 3 hours. But I would like to get something to eat.
Yeah, I need to make dinner too.
So, but yeah, we usually go about this long, maybe a little longer. Fuck you.
Fucking classic Cliff, though. You're such an ass. I love it.
That's what it is. I don't know. It's been a pretty good conversation. And you know what? It hasn't been about current events.
Correct. Which I am okay with.
And so now you guys know that I'm scared of sharks and boogity. So
yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
you
the
know
shark
how to
thing
beat me.
I get the shark thing. The boogity thing, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it from a kid's perspective, I guess. But all I see with the way that you initially said that is I'm looking at like Frankenstein's monster with Yogi Bear's voice. Hey, yo, boogity boogity boo boo.
That's true. Yeah, you were doing that.
Stuff his head into the picnic basket.
Now I'm gonna go cry in my pillow.
Your body pillow?
Yes. My anime girl pillow. My little waifu pillow.
Waifu for lifeu.
Yep. She understands me.
No worries. Devil, I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. As always a good time, man.
No problem, man.
Yeah, this was cool, even though I'm getting a little sick of you, but
yeah.
I got another show with him tomorrow. And then probably on Monday.
That's the problem with being on everybody's show everywhere all the time is people start going, God damn, him again?
Yeah. So where tell people where they can find you.
All over. I'm like on everything, but you can check me out on every Saturday morning on Beelzebub. You can check me out on Engaged Sunday mornings, and well, for me, Sunday mornings, afternoon for everyone else. And then check out Get Ranked every Sunday after that. And then, like I said, you'll see me around on everybody's channel at some point.
Yeah. Gal, what do you got coming up?
So after Jesse did make a stream link, so
Okay.
technically there will be vets talking tonight at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Sorry, my brain just broke for a second there.
He's not gonna miss out on the opportunity for the money again.
I know he's probably gonna invite everybody and their mom.
Ryan Cannell again. Hey Ryan, you want to come on?
He does that freaking, oh god, like he was giving this great intro and then says his name wrong. It was great. And then yeah, so that's tonight, and on Sunday night, Swift Devil, he didn't mention it, but we're on Horny Elf's channel for gaming. I think it should be Halo, but it might change.
I think it's. Are we doing scary spoofy games? Are we doing
So
Phasmophobia?
that's why I wasn't sure. So Phasmophobia is not across platforms yet. I think it's next week, possibly. So I don't know if he's wanting to do the every other spooky or all throughout spooky. So you'll either see Halo or possibly a spooky-ish game, which would likely just be the Dead by Daylight, where I suck a lot. Not the good way. But otherwise, you can find me on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for green-haired anti-liberal and you'll find me.
For Clue
yeah.
channel, what do you mean on Dermy's channel? Like some things are. If you're talking about the games that they were just talking about, that I believe is going to be on Horny Owl's channel.
Yeah.
Jeremy only plays with himself.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which everybody's thankful for, just as long as the camera's off.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then Get Ranked obviously is on Devil's channel and all that stuff. So we'll be all bouncing around all over the internet. Just subscribe to everybody, you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Find us. I generally always post on Twitter when I'll be on a stream or posting other people's streams in general, whether I'm on or not. So
that I think is going to be on who's
that's
channel are
Vets
they
Talking.
going?
Yeah,
Vets Talking.
Yeah,
but it'll probably be on Common Nerds channel.
Yes, sorry.
The Common Nerds.
Normally it's on Vets Talking, but tonight, yes, the Common Nerd.
Yep. All right. Well, that brings us to me. My name is Sam the Infamous. We're broadcasting from my channel, even if you're watching over on Ryan's channel, because Ryan was too much of a bitch to show up to the panel today. That's right, buddy. I see you.
Gets what he deserves.
Yeah, so we do live streams throughout the week on this channel. Abyssal Musings Friday nights, Screaming to the Void, this show on Saturday afternoons, Star Trek Engage on Sunday afternoons. You can also find me later tonight online as Exiled's channel, where we're apparently going over some bitch being too pissy about going to the Cheesecake Factory. I don't know.
Oh God, I didn't even watch that. I just read the premise of it, and I was just like,
I saw the video, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then I clicked off the video, and now I got to go produce a live stream about it. Yay! And anyway, she's a good friend of mine. She does stuff that's political or culturally oriented. Usually about dating and that sort of thing, and how it's bad and has contributed to the destruction of Western society, rather than just getting married.
Ain't wrong.
To be fair, she's Middle Eastern and a Muslim, so I think she sees marriage a little differently than we do in the West.
Potentially.
As in not disposable. So,
goodness.
but yeah, we'll be all around the interwebs. You probably see me on Dermy's channel on Tuesday, on the Renaissance Nerds channel on Monday. Yeah. And last night I was even on Devil's channel, and it was a good time. It was not like this good time. It was a dirty good time.
Ain't wrong.
But yeah, just check us all out if you're interested. Follow us all, that kind of thing. Yes, Dermy's channel is gay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but that said, thank you all for coming. Thank you to both of my panelists, to everybody in chat, everybody who watches this after the fact. Fuck you, Ryan, and have a great night.
Well, I say every day it's a getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.